Hey, the New York Jets made several key roster moves ahead of free agency. We'll talk about them, some big, some not. All that and more with a special guest. Boy Green Daily starts now.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Leston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you guys like the video and hit subscribe. Appreciate no matter where you're watching the show. I'm very humbled. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, replay on the YouTube. You're like, hell no, I'm not getting up that early. I don't blame you. And then also the audio-only version of the podcast as well. We have multiple articles in the YouTube description down below because, well, the Jets have done a whole heck of a lot of work out there in the streets. Appreciate all the Boy Green Coffee Club members and Espresso Club members that are jumping in. I see NC Green, Devin Chafin, Craig Mechanics, Matt Mertz, Hap, Jared B, T-Smooth, Terrence. Appreciate you guys out there in the audience. Again, the Jets have made several key little moves here, and we'll be getting into all of it. Before we go any further, look at Jared B kicking off the show with a Boy Green Coffee Club membership, baby. Appreciate that. Thank you so much, Jared B. That membership went to Doug Hurst. 6404. Doug, welcome to the Boy Green Coffee Club, brother. It's great to have you a part of the army. Jared B, you're up to 2 raffle tickets so far this month. Again, gifting a YouTube membership, 2 membership levels. We'll get more into that here in just a little bit here on the program. Without further ado, let's bring him in. He is our co-host every Friday, a man of the people. And everyone loves some Bob Lederer in their life, and I understand why. He's the man. So let's bring him in. It is Bob Lederer. Again, you see it over my left shoulder every single day on this program. It is that novel, that book, that piece of literature that will be here long after we all kick the bucket. Beyond Broadway, of the Super Bowl team that changed football forever. Let's bring him in. Bob, good morning.
True words were never spoken, BG. Long after all of us.
It is accurate. Yeah. Okay. And
there's
hey,
there's always the first, and it won't be the last, but there's always the first.
That's for sure. And hey, I mean, that's better than what some people have. In terms of them leaving after. So not too shabby. Bob Lederer. So, man, there's a ton of rumors this morning, too. We could get to some of those a little bit later in the program.
I'd love to hear that. I'd love to hear what the Jets did. I went in my transactions column this morning.
Yeah.
And I went to New York Jets. Nothing there. Then I looked at the other teams that maybe they did something with the Jets. No, nothing there. So tell me, I'm in a bubble and I don't know what went on yesterday.
Okay, so let's get into a couple of things here, and I'll try to go in chronological order. That seems to be the fairest thing to do. So this is a player that I think a lot of Jet fans were excited about when he was added to the team last year. He was added ahead, final roster cuts were going on, and the Jets said, "Ooh, I'll have some of that, please. I'll give you the size first, like a boxer, standing at 6'7", weighing 252 pounds
in the center of the ring, but has not taken the first punch yet."
That's right. And I don't know how many punches this guy's taken because he's been unavailable for a lot of the time. But Jelani Woods, he's a big tight end from the Indianapolis Colts. Bobby Jr., I'm sure, could call us and tell us all kinds of things about Jelani. But a lot of fans were excited because he was highly drafted. He was a top 3-round selection of the Colts back in 2022. When the Jets scooped him up, we said, ooh, interesting dart throw. Didn't cost a draft pick. Just picked him up off waivers. Oh, this will be great. And, well, he was MIA all year. He was almost always a healthy scratch for the Jets. So we all just sort of went, oh, I guess that's always just going to be the signing that never was. We're just going to talk about it at the bar or something. Hey, you remember that Jelani Woods guy? No? All right, me either. And then just move on with our lives. But they did re-sign him.
The phrase "we hardly knew you" is apt.
Quite, Bob Lederer. So the Jets re-signed him. No financial terms were disclosed. It's going to be
good.
Yeah, right. It's inconsequential money. But what people may not remember, and playing your quick dot connecting, is why did they? John Woods is fine. He's talented, but why'd they bring him back? Frank Reich was the head coach of the Colts when they drafted Jelani Woods. So he's the OC now. Makes a lot of sense. He says, hey, I liked that guy a couple years ago. Nothing's changed for me. I will take a chance. So to me, Bob, this isn't something to create headlines about. We don't have to get crazy here. They have Mason Taylor. They re-signed Jeremy Rucker. So Jelani Woods is buried on this depth chart. But, if it works out, great. If it doesn't, all right. No harm, no foul here. So you bring back
they saw something and they heard something.
Yeah. So, like I said, nothing lost here. I like it. Good for Jelani. I hope he can stay healthy. I mean, that's basically been the worst part for him. He has the size when he's been on the field. He's had some moments, 200-something yards, couple of, 40-something catches, couple of touchdowns, but he just can't stay healthy on the field. So I hope he does. So, again, low risk, high reward there, potentially, with Jelani. So that was the first move yesterday. It's good to see Jelani Woods sticking a member of the Jets. But again, that one doesn't really move the needle.
I'm panting. What came next?
Yeah, let's go to this. So the Jets retained 2 of their own. I always love educating when I can. There's a thing called an ERFA. That is an free agent. So the Jets tendered 2 players as exclusive rights free agents. You should know both of them for very different reasons. One, Marcelino McCrary-Ball. He was surprisingly one of the team captains last year. He's a special teamer. He unfortunately had to play a lot of linebacker last year because of all these injuries. That wasn't the plan, I don't think. And then he got hurt a lot. So he got on injured reserve several times. And most known, thankfully I don't have that video anymore, but he had a very strange celebration during the Jets-Falcons game where he appeared to flop on the deck like a fish. That went viral on social media. So shout out to Marcelino McCrary-Ball. And they also did it to Juwan Briggs, who's a much bigger name that Jet fans should be quite familiar with. The Jets-Brown last year where they picked him up. And what is the exclusive rights free agent? Basically what that means is the Jets are getting both of these players on the veteran minimum. So get them for dirt cheap. And Juwan Briggs, of course, is coming off a career year in sacks, quarterback hits, tackles for loss. I mean, he's coming off the best year of his career, and he finally got some PT. So not surprising moves by the Jets, but good. Marcelino, fine, whatever. He's a special teams captain, some linebacker depth. That's whatever. But I'm excited about Juwan Briggs here, Bob, because it looks like the Jets sort of have their room now. Harrison Phillips, Juwan Briggs, T'Vondre Sweat. That seems to be sort of the bulk, literally and figuratively, of that room.
Well, I didn't know that they didn't have Briggs under any kind of a contract. So
yeah, right.
Did it say what they signed him for?
Yeah, so it's veteran minimum because of the uniqueness of his situation of how he entered the league and being traded and the Jets having his rights. They had a chance to tender him as an exclusive rights free agent. If they didn't, he'd be a free agent, could sign for any amount of money in free agency. But for the Jets, why wouldn't you? He's coming off an awesome year. Of course you want to tender him at that level. So you have him for 1 year dirt cheap. And then next year, you'll probably have to dip your toes into those waters. If he comes off another good year, you'll probably have to pay him handsomely. But for now, they get him on a 1 year deal for dirt cheap. And again, I give a lot of credit to Darren Muji because I think all of us were yelling last year, Bob, yikes, this defensive tackle room stinks outside of Quinton Williams. We need some help. And they didn't draft the guy. I love these draft history nuggets. I believe it was 36 defensive tackles were taken in the 2025 NFL draft. That was the most since 1990. The Jets didn't take a single one. And we were like, yeah, I thought they could have taken multiple, but they didn't take one. And I'm like, all right, maybe they know better than me. And then they signed all those random guys like Jay Tufele and Derek Nottie. And we're like, all right, maybe the Jets know more than we do. But they didn't. They got to training camp with, yikes, this room sucks. And credit to Muji for striking a couple of trades. That's how he brought in Phillips. He brought in Briggs. I appreciate people not being stubborn and saying, no, we said we're going down this path and we believed it was good enough. I appreciate them not doing that and willing to pivot based on new information or old information in our case in training camp, and they brought him in. So I give Muji a lot of credit for being willing to pivot that late in training camp.
Well, a lot of teams also stubbornly insist on their own draft picks,
yes,
who haven't performed in the last 2 or 3 years. This is the year. This is the year they're going to show themselves.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
That doesn't happen too often.
So again, good to have Briggs back. Marcelino, you know, I've got nothing against the guy.
Hey, special team. Hey, look at how good special teams were last year.
Yeah, 100%. The special teams was awesome. So if we can not rock the boat and bring everybody back and try to just copy and paste what happened last year, woo, that'd be terrific. And now there is one more move to get here, Bob, and it's caused some, whatever the word is among the Jets fan base, some people seem a little split. I'm curious where you stand, Bob Lederer. The Jets did not tender John Metchie III. He was the wide receiver that they traded for from the Philadelphia Eagles. He was set to be a restricted free agent, which means the Jets at the lowest level could have given him a 1-year deal for $3.5 million, and they would have had right of first refusal. If someone signed him to something greater, they could have matched it. Or if he got no offer sheet, he would have had to play on that tender. The Jets said, no, we're good. Just leave. And so John Metchie III exited stage left, and he will be an unrestricted free agent next week. Bob, do you have any fond memories of John Metchie III? Are you upset or mad or any other emotion that he's walking out of the door?
I'm surprised, but at the same time, it tells me there's much cooking in the wide receiver kitchen. To just let him go for nothing after all the hubbub that they made after making the trade and acquiring him.
Yeah.
Although they gave up a bag of peanuts for him. So I am surprised that's the case, but they must have a lot cooking, and I don't just mean waiting, exceptional draft pick, options. I mean something, really that they intend to do. And so that can be the only explanation to me for doing that.
Yes, I think that's well said, and I agree. I think the Jets should be doing work. And I know, to your point, a few people were surprised on social media, and I thought about this because I looked ahead as the Jets were set to make this decision, would they tender him, would they not tender him? And then if you really think about it, so we have Garrett Wilson, so obviously he's wide receiver 1. We have Adonai Mitchell, the other wide receiver we traded for. We have to put him at 2 for now because no one else is there, but he's probably going to be wide receiver 3. We're going to bring in some significant addition, free agency, trade, draft. So let's put that random made-up person in wide receiver 2. So that means John Metchie III, at best, would be wide receiver 4. And to be honest, I like what I saw from Isaiah Williams last year, and he got a few wide receiver reps at the end of the year. I'm fine with him being wide receiver 4. So now, best case scenario, John Metchie is like wide receiver 5. And am I paying $3.5 million for wide receiver 5? No, not really. And to me, I'm fine with it because the key part of the John Metchie trade from the Jets perspective had nothing to do with John Metchie. It was a salary dump. Hey, Eagles, take Michael Carter II. He's not being great here. Oh, you're going to take all this money off our books? Great. And we moved up around in the draft in 2027. We went from a 7th round pick to a 6th round pick. And I said, hey, do you want this John Metchie guy? I'm like, all right. It's like when you're at a restaurant and you go pick up some Chinese food and they're like, hey, do you want some napkins? I'm like, yeah, sure. Throw them in the bag. John Metchie? You want some John Metchie?
But you know what? They could have put the least oppressive tag on him.
They could have.
And gotten something.
Yeah.
I don't know what that would be. I know the highest was, the $3.5 million thing would have gotten him, what, a third?
No, so no draft compensation, actually. So they had 3 levels to do it: first round tender, second round tender, or the right of first refusal. But when you go higher on the tenders, you have to pay them a lot more money. First round tender is like $8 million. Right. Second round tender is like $7 million.
The only thing sales in his defense, unlike Mitchell, Metchie can catch the ball consistently.
He had some drops at the end of the year, which made me a little like,
Yeah, but he was a short dump, thrown in front of the linebackers type receiver.
Yeah.
He really wasn't utilized at all as somebody who was going downfield.
Yeah, and I'm normally not cynical. That's not normally waters I choose to swim in.
Never.
But you look at John. If you just look at the numbers for John Metchie, you're like, oh well, not bad for what he did. He appeared in 9 games, started 7 games, and he had just dandy, run of the mill, fine, solid production that you just sort of give a tip of the cap to. You're like, all right, way to go, John Metchie. Way to finish off with, and it was 29 catches for 256 yards and 2 touchdowns. Not bad. But the cynic in me says, well, somebody had to catch the ball. I mean, Garrett Wilson was hurt. Mason Taylor was hurt. I mean, he was like one of the only people left. It was like some sort of lost show or something. He was like the last person still on the island. So, the numbers I sort of look at, well, it was sort of manufactured because no one else was there. So even that part of it, I sort of side-eye.
So do you have the numbers right in front of you? Exactly how many catches did he have and what yardage did he get?
Yeah, so 29 catches for 256 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns in 7 games with the Jets.
And how many 29 catches out of how many targets?
Ooh, yeah, I don't have the targets in front of me, but I think he had like 40 targets, if I remember correctly. Okay. Let me pull that up.
He seemed to be open whenever they threw the ball to him. But again, that was because they were throwing in front of the linebackers.
Well, that's also a good point too, because I imagine the other teams when they faced our offense didn't have much to worry about.
He was the 3rd and 9 guy who caught the ball for 7.
Yeah, targets last year he had. Yeah, so it was in the 40s. Yeah, he had 44 targets and caught 29 of them.
Okay, well, tough to make judgments, especially with the guys who were throwing the ball to him.
That's also true. Yeah, his receiving success rate, which is considered a successful reception that gains 40% of the required yards, he had a 40.9% successful catch rate, which was a career low for him during his limited time with the Jets. He also had a 65% catch reception rate. So now some of those numbers were a little down, but I would just say this on John Metchie. This is a guy that overcame leukemia, for God's sake. So, I mean, the fact that he is living and breathing among us is amazing, an amazing comeback for his life. And unfortunately he got drafted. So that's not the unfortunate part. The good part is, whoa, a top 50 pick of the draft. That's good money. Good for John. But shortly after he was drafted, he was diagnosed with leukemia. And so that obviously took him out his entire rookie season, and he made this miraculous comeback. So I'm happy for the kid. Good for him. He's now going to be a free agent. Jordan Schultz described him as an intriguing 25-year-old that just sort of entered the marketplace. Maybe he's going to get a nice deal from somebody. I hope he does. And I hope he goes somewhere and does something. But, I'm cool with the Jets washing their hands and moving on, with all due respect.
Unlike many people, I cannot see the future. But I suspect that John Metchie Jr. Is going to someday achieve something very significant outside of football. And in the notes, it'll say he overcame leukemia and he actually had this many years with, teams in the NFL.
Bob, I don't know if we can get serious here for a second.
I am. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tell me, what do you think, when they read that resume, what do you think is going to be the more impressive thing they overcame for John Metchie?
The leukemia.
The leukemia or playing for the Jets?
He survived the Jets. He didn't.
Seriously,
in the write-up about him,
right?
You will see that he played 5 years in the NFL.
Sure, right, sure. Yeah.
And a football fan will go, oh, I don't really remember him. And so let me go deeper into this story and see who we've actually played for.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done that many a time, and I suspect, if he doesn't hit the big time now with somebody else, hey, it would be shocking to see him go to San Francisco and have them turn into a weapon.
Yeah, right. Of being here and having a cup of coffee.
Everybody's going.
That seems to be the case. That always seems to be the case. So again, salute to John Metchie III, and best of luck to his future endeavors. And yes, I've heard a few of my former colleagues or people I've done shows with, DJ Bieneme, who covers the Houston Texans for ESPN. He wrote a beautiful story about John Metchie a couple years ago, and I reached out to him after the Jets traded for him and brought him in. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think he is this world he is going to give something to, and it's going to be far beyond football, and I can't wait for whatever that ends up being.
Wishing him really nothing but the best.
100%. Hey, Jake Asman gracing us with his presence with a nearly weekly Friday super chat for the Bob Lederer group.
Wow.
Thank you, Jake, but I don't know if I'd like to be lumped in with death and taxes.
Yeah, that's not the most flattering way to do it, but nothing like it. That is true. There is nothing like it, and it is the old tried and true. You know, I think routine is important. Obviously, as a person who does a show every single day at 7:30 in the morning, I'm a routine guy. So having Bob Lederer every Friday is, again, it's a welcome tradition. So, Bob, we appreciate having you on the show.
Enjoy it while you can, Jake. Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, there you go. Beautiful. That's a great way to put it. So, Jake, thank you so much for sending that in. You're up to 3 raffle tickets in our contest. Thank you very much. We'll get back to that here. Excuse me. In just a little bit. So, Bob, that's the litany of transactions for the New York Jets. Again, they're letting John Metchie III go, which had some mixed reviews on social media. I think people are going to get over it. And then keeping Juwan Briggs, important. Marshall McCurry Ball, that's nice. Jelani Wood, sure, a little bit of depth. But the big stuff is happening next week. I can't even imagine what we're going to be talking about next week, Bob, with all the free agents. Free agency will have been going on for a few days. The legal tampering will have gone on for a few days. We should have some big-time splashes to recap next week, which should be a lot of fun. But, Bob, let's get into some Bob notes. We need to have a name for this segment. That's what I want on things that tickle the
when I was growing up, long before you were, in the Daily News every Sunday, I used to run to the store to get the Daily News to read Young Ideas, which was Dick Young, who's the baseball writer, basically. Okay. And he would give you all the poop and all the scoops, and this is what I hear, and that's so. I'll have to come up with something. I will. I promise. Lederer is something, or Bob's something or other. But you know what? I listened to you yesterday with Woody, and I wanted you to repeat to the audience, because you weren't taking calls as far as I could tell, about the
Woody doesn't like calls on the Thursday shows.
Yeah, the
for
5 first things you think the Jets should do. I only really agreed with one of them.
Of mine or one of his?
One of yours.
Oh,
and that was number 1, the trade with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yes.
But quickly run down the 5 that you thought, because it got me to thinking, and I came up not with a list of my own, but a handful of things that I think they also should consider.
Great. So I'm going to send this in. This will be going out on social media later. So I turned it into a sexy graphic to the best of my abilities. So let me make sure I send the right one here. This is mine. So yes, if you guys missed it, I know some of you, which by the way, I just want to say I appreciate this. Some of you only listen to Boy Green Daily, and that's the only show you ever hear of mine. You don't listen to anything else or watch anything else. And by the way, God bless America. Appreciate if you watch anything that I do. So thank you. But I do a program every Tuesday and Thursday at 3:00. And one of the most anticipated shows we do every year, and we've been doing the show for the last couple of years, is the top 5 calls the New York Jets should make in free agency. Now, that could literally mean a free agent, like you're calling an agent for a thing. But sometimes you could get creative. And I chose to try to get creative. So I'm about to throw this up on the screen. This is a graphic revealing the top 5 calls I would make if I was running the operation for the New York Jets. So some of you may be seeing this for the first time. If you watched the show yesterday, then you're just seeing it in this form. So let's throw it up here on the board. These are the top 5 calls in order from 1 to 5 that I would make if I was running the operation for the New York Jets, and I'll recap them. For audio-only listeners, I can't see this graphic. My first call would be calling the Jacksonville Jaguars about trading for wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. I've read that, according to a variety of outlets, the Jaguars are open to trading him, and he's had 2 years in the league. He's got $4 million and change left on his rookie contract outside of the 5th-year option. Number 2, I'd call the Baltimore Ravens center Tyler Linderbaum as a potential free agent splash. try to see if he'd be open to it. I'm not sure if he would, but hey, I want to make the call and at least give it the old college
You're going to
try.
have a lot of competition for him from everywhere I'm reading.
Yeah, for sure. Number 3, New Orleans Saints linebacker Demario Davis. Hey, you know what? 3rd time's the charm, baby. Let's get one of those in there. That'd be beautiful. Let's get some Demario Davis action. And rounding out the top 5 is Chicago Bears DB Kevin Byard III. He led the league in picks last year, but a lot of people are overlooking him because there's a million safeties out there, and he's an older player at 31, 32. So a lot of people aren't thinking about him, but I think that's, if you sift through the free agents, I think he's one that I like a lot. And then my quarterback plan, and I've said this for a couple of weeks, that one of my preferred quarterback options is trading for retired quarterback Derek Carr and saying, hey, buddy, you ready to push that sun in the sky one more time and trade for Derek Carr? So there are my top 5 calls the Jets should make a free agency. Again, this graphic will be going out on social media a little bit later today.
Okay, I got one for you. I got several, but the leading one that I got.
All right.
You know who Brandon Aubrey is?
I sure do. Yes.
He's a free agent, and he's having trouble signing with Dallas.
Yeah, I saw that. That's too bad.
They've offered him $5.8 million a year, and I don't know how many years.
Right.
And he wants more.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy last year, before 50 yards, outside of 50 yards, 10 for 10 from 20 to 29, 5 for 5, 30 to 39, 10 out of 10, 40 to 49, and 11 out of 17 beyond 50, and a high of 64. And the way I looked at it, if you sign him, and the Jets don't have a kicker right now because they don't know if their kicker from last year is going to retire or not.
Actually, let me give a quick update on that.
Get update.
Yeah, this was from this week, but again, it was just sort of a random story. It was hard to fit in. It didn't quite lead a show, but it was newsworthy, I suppose. NFL Network's Tom Pelissero says Nick Folk does not plan on retiring, and he wants to play this year. So he is set to be an unrestricted free agent. So whether he returns to the Jets or not, it sounds like he's playing football this year, whether it's for the Jets or somebody else. So that is the news we know. But again, he's set to be a free agent in a couple of days here.
Love the guy. I mean, he missed one kick last year?
One kick, that was it. Phenomenal.
Yeah. But this guy, Aubrey, he's a weapon. I'll put it to you this way.
All right.
After the other team kicks off, or even if it's the opening kick of the game, the kick goes out of the end zone. The Jets start at the 35, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
If they get to the 40, this guy is capable of kicking a 65 or 66 or 67-yard field goal.
We're in range.
I remember the day after we both watched University of Mississippi play in the college football playoffs.
Yes.
We saw this kicker on Mississippi who was going to LSU, who was booming 60-yard field goals. And you and I agreed, let's go get this guy now. Forget about the rest of his college career, because right now everybody can kick 50-yard field goals, but there are a handful that can kick 55, 60 or longer consistently. And for $6 million a year, and I know that's probably 3 times what most teams pay their kickers, this guy could become a real weapon, especially when you have a weak quarterback room that can't really move the ball very far downfield. I mean, if they can move him, if they can get it to midfield, this guy can come in and automatically give you 3 points.
I love Brandon Aubrey,
and you could get him for a 2nd-round pick. I think that's the tender that the Cowboys have put on his head.
Yeah, what is
and I'd give up the 44th pick to get this guy.
That's another good question that I'm unaware of. Do you get to pick if you have multiple? So, again, there's certain tenders you could get 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd round, whatever. Like, if you have multiple picks in that round, do you have to give up the best? Do you have to give the worst? I'm going to try to do some research to see if you get to pick that situation.
Because I got another one for you that's in the same vein.
Oh, okay.
What's the tender? What's the tender that the Colts gave their quarterback?
That would be the transition tag.
Right. And you get a totally different view here in Chicago than you do in New York. So think of this, Batman. The Jets offer him a 1-year, argumentatively, $50 million contract just to get him away from the Colts. And of course, the Jets have to give them 2 first-round picks.
No. So because he is just a transition tag, they're playing a dangerous game. Let's use the Jets for your example. Okay. They signed into a 5-year, $500 kajillion deal.
It's only guaranteed for 1 year. For
whatever.
Argument's sake.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's guaranteed for 1 year. The Colts like, we don't want to match that, and they choose not to. The Jets get Daniel Jones, and the Colts get nothing. So the Colts, all they have is essentially the right of first refusal. So if they see the deal and they want to match it, great. Daniel Jones stays with them.
This is even better.
Oh, great. Okay.
So they lose their quarterback, and they have to be in the quarterback market that we're now in. Mm-hmm. And their draft status next year goes from the present 16, which we own, to next year, who knows what it is, but it might end up being like in the top 5, if not number 1. We get their quarterback, and we get their first-round pick next year.
Wow. That I do like the cut of your jib, Bob. Okay. Well, here's the only thing. Daniel Jones is
a curly that used to say, jeans, whatever it is.
Yeah, right. And I think you're onto something there. My only thing is, and maybe this will be some Bobby Jr. information later, but like, when is Daniel Jones going to be back?
I've not discussed it with him, but I do some of my best thinking in the shower because this is what they're talking about here in Chicago because they're Bears crazy, but after they're done talking about the Bears, they start talking about the rest of the NFL, and the Jets invariably come up, and these guys have interesting ideas for how the Jets, could thrive.
Well, I don't know what Bobby Jr.'s occupation is, but I'm going to assume it's a doctor. So, Dr. Bobby Jr., what is Daniel Jones's health status? Is he going to be ready week 1? Because if he's not going to be ready week 1 or for a significant period of time, maybe it behooves the Colts to keep him. And then they don't have a starting quarterback for a large chunk of the season, which we have their first-round pick for, and that could be very nice. So, but I like your idea, though. It's very creative, and we could screw the Colts. I'm all for, with all due respect.
And we win.
Famous Fulton.
We would win doubly on that deal.
Yeah, you have. I think you've hit the nail on the head here, Bob. Speaking of hitting the nail on the head, there is another super chat for you here from Jake Asman.
Wow.
Thought about this too, Bob. A $2 super chat here from Jake. Bob, do you get discount furniture at Bob's Furniture?
No, as a matter of fact, when Bobby Jr. and his older brother both moved to New York from Chicago, we took them to several furniture stores, and we took them away from discount furniture stores. So no, I don't get any discounts at those stores because we don't even walk in through the front door. But thanks for the question, Jake.
But real quick, a quick follow-up. If you did walk in, would Bobby Jr. still get part of the discount as being part of the family, or is that off?
Yeah, it's not. Well, we don't have we don't have the Lederer Furniture Store, and I won't name names, but the well-known furniture stores, we look into all of them to see where's the furniture that seems to stand up. So, anyway, but a great question, Jake. Again, keep them coming.
Yeah, for sure. Really appreciate that. All right, let's go to Philly Noodles here. Professor Doodles.
Wow.
He kicked in a dome most of the season.
Yes. And I was gonna, and that's a great point, Philly. And I was going to bring that up. All right, I'm going to look up while we're talking.
Yeah.
What success he had in open air stadiums.
Oh, that would be great if we could get that.
I will ask Claude.ai, and it will tell me, pretty quickly what the answer is. But yes, it's a difference kicking in MetLife and kicking in the Dallas Dome. He's right.
Yeah. But thank you, Philly Noodles, a member for 20 months here on the channel. Much appreciated. I don't want to call this breaking news, but it did happen a little bit earlier this morning, and I guess there's some very light reference if the Jets were interested. So this morning, the LA Chargers signed veteran free agent center Tyler Biadasz, former Cowboy as well, to a 3-year deal for $30 million. He's the new starting center for the LA Chargers. I know Ricky New York Live, who I see in the chat. Great to see you, pal. He asked me a couple days ago if that's where I'd want the Jet to potentially upgrade at center. And I like Tyler Biadasz, but he did go on a couple of visits, and then bing, boom, bam, they got that done very quickly. Smart on them, because that's a unique loophole. If any player was just straight up cut from their team, they could sign immediately. They don't have to wait for free agency. So good on Tyler to get your bag early, young man, and get it there. So good for Tyler Biadasz. He is off the market. So sayonara, Tyler Biadasz, who is now gone. I appreciate that. A couple other super chats coming in. Ace of Spade with a super chat. Appreciate your $2 contribution.
Wow.
Fridays with Father Bob. I came up with the rap name. Ooh, what do you think about that, Bob? Father Bob hitting us on a Friday.
You have to remind me how old I am.
Yeah, well, no, Father Bob, like maybe a preacher. I don't know if you have any religion in you. Maybe Father Bob dropping the gospel.
I got the wrong religion in there. If you want to call me Rabbi Bob, maybe.
Oh yeah, that's true. but then it sort of lacks that alliteration. So like,
it
yeah,
does.
maybe,
How about Rabbi Robert?
Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. Look, you're very quick. Quick.
Yeah,
you still got it, Bob. I don't care what anyone else says. You still got it. Thank you for the Ace of Spade $2 super chat. We have another one coming from Professor Philly Doodles. A very active morning.
Wow.
Wow, $2 super chat. He says, Indy Jets has a better voice than Dennis Quaid. Gravel voice, great. Oh, wow. Okay. I like Dennis Quaid. He does have a raspiness, a sort of hoarseness, a sort of, hey, I've got some battle scars. I've seen some things. There has been a little bit of that to his game, for sure. Master of respect, but some love to Uncle Indy. Very nice. Okay. Hep throws this in. Lederer's Ledger. A little bit of alliteration there. Perhaps that's how you're going to your ledger.
I think we're starting to make some progress.
Yeah, I feel like we're catching some stuff now. Here we go. This is what I'm talking about. Thank you, Philly Noodles. We've added that to your raffle ticket total. So keep those super chats and memberships flowing, everybody. A very engaging show so far, so we really appreciate it. So that's very nice. So I appreciate that out there in the audience. So we'll work that in. So okay, Aubrey, is there any other names that you had on your list? Your call list that you wanted to throw some love to? Bob, can you hear it? No, that's okay.
You want to repeat it?
Yeah, no, that's okay. Do you have any?
I'm looking at Aubrey's numbers, trying to come up with
Yeah, no, that's okay. I'm saying beyond just Aubrey, do you have anyone on your call list that you said you would also throw in there that you wanted to mention?
There were a number of people that I wondered because they became, free yesterday. Like, I don't know, is Stephon Diggs, interesting enough to look into? Is Darnell Mooney interesting enough to look into?
Yeah, right.
I mean, there are guys out there that suddenly are free agents. I know Diggs probably has a bit of an attitude that a lot of teams may not want, and he probably wants a ton of money.
So where was he on? So he's been on 3 teams in 3 years. He was on Buffalo, he was on Houston, he was on New England, and now this next team will be his 4th team in 4 years. So, his run is very beautiful, but very brief, very short. So, if the Jets are looking for a wide receiver, but I'm not sure if Diggs is the one I would dig into.
But you agree with me what I said earlier in that in getting rid of Metchie Jr., it would kind of indicate they've got some plans that they're ready to unleash.
Yeah, I would say that. Now, I didn't think with all due respect, I didn't think highly of Metchie in the Jets upper tier thing, but I thought they were going to make a significant addition. And now you see it in the AFC East, right? The Bills go get DJ Moore, and I thought the Jets should be in a veteran market, the trade market, free agency, draft. They should be. Yes, I do think a significant addition is coming to the Jets wide receiver room. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and Darnell Mooney, any thoughts about that?
He's a fine player. If the Jets are looking for call it a wide receiver 3 or 4. I don't think he's good enough to be a wide receiver 2, with all due respect. I think I'm supposed to say with all the due respect thing before I insult him, but I'll work on that. But yeah, if they want to do that, that's fine. He's an okay player. I'd kick the tires to see. But my sights are likely set higher than Darnell Mooney.
Okay. What about the kid on the Giants, and what about Dobbs?
Yeah. Wan'Dale Robinson, is that who you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, again, as a fellow vertically challenged guy, I have a special place in my heart for the Kyler Murrays, the Wan'Dale Robinsons, Leprechauns, and things of that nature. But he's going to get paid crazy money. Connor Hughes reported this morning that there's almost like a mini bidding war going on for him. And I don't know if you so the size thing you have to put in a bucket, because when you have a guy who's 5'8", you have to manufacture touches for a guy like that. So, you want receivers that make life easy for you. I can play anywhere. Oh, that's great. Oh, I got this size. I can match up against anyone. That's great. When you have someone who's so small and then they're limited on what you can do, and then his only good year he had was when Malik Neighbors' leg exploded. So, he was a beneficiary, again, sort of in the John Metchie world in a very different way, that, someone had to catch the passes, and he was force-fed into that number one role, which is a role that he hadn't normally had. So he's fine, but I just don't think that's where I would go. I think he's going to get overpaid in free agency. Good for him. Hey, it's free agency. Yeah. Get your money if you can. But no, I'd go in a different direction, with all due respect.
And the other thought I had with all the names that came up yesterday for quarterbacks, I've seen enough of Tyson Bagent to say that out of all the backup quarterbacks that the Jets might want to bring in as a backup quarterback,
sure,
that I could go for that.
Okay.
And the reason is, and I'm sure everybody else notices it as well, you ever notice when your number one quarterback gets hurt and you don't really have a veteran backup, that the guy that comes in, 9 out of every 10 passes is in front of the linebackers or screens or things like that. He doesn't throw downfield. Tyson Bagent can throw the ball downfield and was asked by the Bears to do that. Yeah. And he's been there for 3 years. And I'm not going to say he's gotten increasingly better, but he doesn't turn you off when you watch him play. You don't say, okay, let's get this guy out of here, like Cook that we had an experience with. I could see, I can see playing this guy for a couple of games until the starter comes back. So again, and he and Mariota, I think, would be the two best backups they could get, but they'd have to trade for Bagent. Yeah, I don't know what that would cost. Probably not a ton, but
two things here. If I had some champagne, I would pour it on my floor for Tyson Bagent, the Shepherd product. Beautiful. Thank you,
Manischewitz.
Yeah. Blessed be he. And, yes. And I would just say that for how many Shepherd products have made it to the National Football League. So a big salute there. His father, for those who don't know, is a multi-time world champion arm wrestler. He went viral at the Senior Bowl for smacking around NFL Network reporters on set, which was quite hilarious. But when you say what it should cost, if I am to listen to Chicago people have said that they are asking for a second-round pick. And I'm like, a second-round pick for Tyson Bagent? I'm sorry. I am way out on that price. If he comes much cheaper in terms of draft compensation, I'd be interested in Tyson Bagent. I think he's a talented kid for sure. And I'd love to see him get a shot. Obviously, he's never going to get it in Chicago unless Caleb Williams gets hurt. So if that's available for not a second-round pick, and quite frankly, not a third-round pick, I'm swimming in day 3 waters for a lot of these veteran QB trades, if that's where I'm going to go personally. But I like the kid. Shepherd product. I like it. And I love that you've seen him play, obviously, in Chicago. I've seen him a few primetime games when he's randomly had to play, whether it was pre-Caleb Williams era or during Caleb Williams era. So I like the kid.
Good. I mean, I just think it's an option. I doubt they're going that way.
Did you find your Aubrey info yet?
Yeah, I'm still looking at it. I found a lot of he was the third most successful field goal kicker last year overall.
Yeah.
But now I'm looking to see, where is his home versus away stuff? It's showing.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll have to keep looking. Let's move on, and I'm sure I'll find something.
Okay, I will just say this in general. He obviously has the biggest leg in football, which is amazing. Again, he is a weapon of mass destruction. He's been a Pro Bowler every year. He's been an All-Pro, first team All-Pro, and second team All-Pro the last 3 years. So again, the numbers are absolutely incredible. So he'd be interesting. Now, second round price is a lot, but kickers are kickers.
But
Kickers
if you knew for sure,
yeah,
that it didn't make any difference if he played at home or away. Okay, that his numbers were basically, the same. Again, do you agree with me that his value in getting you points, because that's what it comes down to. If you get if you've had a 10-play drive and you're at midfield and you can't get any closer, Brandon, come on in. Okay, we'll take 3. I mean, you'd have 9 points for sure at halftime, even if you didn't get a touchdown. And then it becomes obviously how good your defense is, because they have too many instances where they just don't score at all, where they're impotent, that they can't do. I mean, I think their quarterbacking is going to be better this year, or at least I hope it will be.
Yeah, it'll be hard to be worse, Bob Lederer.
Yeah, but again, it reminded me of 1968. When Namath was throwing too many interceptions and they basically corralled him and said, enough of that long distance bombing. We're going to go short and we're going to rely on the running game. And Jim Turner, their field goal kicker, went crazy and set an NFL record for field goals that year.
Yeah.
He was only like a 75% field goal kicker in those days. That was considered pretty good. Today, he wouldn't even have a job. So,
by the way, Matty P says this, Brandon Aubrey was 6 of 8 at MetLife Stadium this past year. Of course, the Cowboys played against the Jets, and then
good, don't you think?
He played against the Giants. And they didn't have a stat to represent this. I just heard I was Googling this and researching it, and some analysts said that he was excellent in outdoor situations, cold weather games and outdoors. They said he was very good. So I'll have to take their word for it.
The wins at MetLife Stadium are, prolific at times.
Of course.
So
and that's
again,
where he would be playing primarily, obviously.
But the other team has to deal with the same conditions.
Of course.
Yeah, if he's that good, and we should look at their schedule next year and see, good stadium, bad stadium for kickers, whatever. It would give us a much better idea. In fact, maybe that's what I'll do.
All right, there you go. And by the way, let's pour one out here. Nangi Boko, Mike Nugent, the former second-round kicker of the New York Jets in the early 2000s.
Who went on to a long career with, I think, Cincinnati.
Yeah, I think he played at a lot of places. He's, if I remember correctly, a former Ohio State product.
Yep.
Let me see. 2004, so salute to him for 2004. Yeah, look at his career. He played from 2005 all the way to 2020. And he played for the Jets, the Buccaneers, the Cardinals, the Bengals, the Giants, the Cowboys, the Bears, the Raiders, the Patriots, and then Arizona.
And in the end, does it show what his success rate was on field goals?
Oh, yes. Let me have this for his statistics. And maybe that'll make some people feel good about spending a second-round draft choice on a kicker, I guess. But, yeah, so Mike Nugent's overall numbers was he had a 81% field goal conversion rate. In his career, that's how well he did. Which that's
Now
pretty good.
Get back to Aubrey for a second. Paying a guy almost $6 million a year, which is extraordinary. But is that a smart investment? Because most teams won't even. They release guys who are going to make 3. To bring in somebody else is going to make less than 2. To me, it's always been a situation of, hey, if the guy's a great kicker, why would you let him go?
Yeah, it would be bold for the Jets in this particular case. They'd have to give up a second-round draft choice, and that's if the Cowboys didn't match the offer. That'd be a lot to pay, and only certain teams can afford to pay that sort of price. But he is a weapon. Again, my dad's a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan. I've seen a lot of Brandon Aubrey kicks.
Yeah. And
when you can operate an entire game differently, knowing that your range starts at the 37.5-yard line, and you could push it even further. Like, that's crazy. It's crazy. So
your own 37 and a half yards.
Yes, let me make that clear. If that wasn't, I'm talking about your own 37. So, like, again, if they accidentally just kick the ball through the back of the end zone, you get the ball at the 35-yard line. We're in field goal range. What? Like, that's unbelievable. So it is true. So no, salute. I like that you're digging into Brandon Aubrey. I can respect.
Good. I'm glad you like that idea. That was all on my own, just from looking at what was going on yesterday. And the only other thing I really, was struck by were two things.
Okay.
Number one, when you were with Woody yesterday, you were talking about the fact that I had brought up some team issues with Derek Carr. And you say, I know where Bob got that from. And I sent you an email, thanks to AI, and said, tell me everything that's been published about, his problems. And I don't know if you want to bring it up.
Yeah,
or
I haven't. Yeah, I'll read it.
Yeah, just kind of summarize it. He had very few problems with the Raiders until the very end. Yeah. But New Orleans, a little bit of a different story.
Yeah, I'm going to read a bunch of these, but I will just tell you this off my initial, so I saw the email. I'm like, okay, here we go. Let me dive in. And then I read the stuff and I went, I think some of the things in here are a little weak, but let's get into it. Let's read some of these things. So again, long story short, on the Boy Green Meets Woody show yesterday, we're talking about options. And I believe the best option for the New York Jets this offseason quarterback is Derek Carr. You trade for his retired Patuki from the Saints, give him a 7th-round pick, and that's all it's going to take, and he's your quarterback. And then Woody is a big Kyler Murray guy. He says, Paul, do you really think Derek Carr is a better quarterback than Kyler Murray? I'm like, if I had to say a quarterback right now just on football ability, I think Kyler Murray is a better guy right now than Derek Carr. Derek Carr's been out for a year. It'd be crazy for me to say otherwise. But I'm like, I don't know. There's a lot of extracurricular activity with Kyler Murray. And I said, I remember Bob telling me there's some extracurricular activity with Derek Carr, but I'd never heard of it. And now Bob said, oh, Paulie, I got you
on the
here.
Spot, or Bobby on the spot.
And you emailed me this list, and you said it of AI, of all the issues potentially that Derek Carr has had, the published evidence of several incidents that raised questions about Carr as a teammate during his time with the Saints. And here are a bunch of them. On-field confrontations with teammates and coaches. Carr was caught on camera yelling at center Eric McCoy during a Saints win over the Panthers. McCoy said he, quote, lost his cool, end quote, and publicly apologized. Both players insisted it resolved quickly. Separately, Carr has been seen talking animatedly toward offensive coordinator Pete Carmichael after a loss to the Texans, was seen yelling towards receiver Chris Olave during a primetime loss that Carr later acknowledged. My emotions have been a little too much on my sleeve. There's the public criticisms from his former wide receiver, Michael Thomas of Ohio State, speaking for people in the locker room that don't want Carr at the quarterback position. Cam Jordan on locker room energy. And again, I assess this information that is suggested here, and I say, wait a second. So the starting quarterback was yapping at his center. All right. He was yapping at his offensive coordinator. All right. Michael Thomas has been kicked out of the league for a lot of extracurricular activities and his own locker room issues, yet he's the one throwing rocks from a glass house telling me about Derek Carr. Okay, buddy. So long story short, I think that's a quarterback. Like, I've seen all these tapes of Peyton Manning ripping into it on Jeff Saturday on the sideline.
He was
and saying, are you kidding me? You're going to give me that snap? And then Saturday gets in his face, and then they start going at it. So, like, I think to me that's just playing quarterback. So,
and people and the defenders on the Colts yelling at Peyton, "Stop running 6-play offensive drives. Give us a chance to get our breath here."
So, to me, I appreciate that you sent me this, and I wanted to see it, but I read through it. And I'm like, it sounds like he was just playing.
What was at the end though about the Raiders? Because there was one thing.
Oh, Raiders thing. Okay. So, fractured locker room report in 2018 from The Athletic. A dismal 2018 season suggested there's a fractured relationship between Carr and his teammates, focusing heavily on the perception that Carr was seen crying on the field after hurting his shoulder in a loss. However, the response from his teammates was swift and emphatic. Lee Smith called the reports the most obnoxious, ridiculous thing I've ever heard. The end of tenure tension, so when he was forced to leave the Raiders. There's anonymous criticisms about leadership style. Yeah, I remember those that people were bringing up. But to me, again, if there was something, legitimate, something like eyebrow raising, I feel like I could call it straight. And if I saw, I'm like, oh boy, guys, like the Kyler stuff. It's very easy to be concerned about all of these things that have come out in Kyler. The stuff on Derek Carr, I'm like, it just sounds like a professional quarterback doing professional quarterback things. He, when you're the leader, you get all the credit, you get all the blame. And you're yelling at people to line up. You're supposed to make sure everyone's lined up properly. You have to drive the bus. And when you drive the bus, some people don't like the bus driver. So to me, I don't think any of the Derek Carr stuff I saw is anything more than what it is, to be honest with you.
Well, in the last 2 days, it's become clear from all the experts that Kyler Murray seems to be the most talented guy out there. Personally, I think if he gets a chance to go to Minnesota, he's got rocks in his head if he doesn't go there. But the whole thing about them having to insert language into his contract, which I understand was then taken out, about you have to devote this much time to studying film and not playing games, is bad. And again,
like, I'm a conviction guy here, Bob. If you want to put it in the contract, then God bless America. It's your damn right. And he signed it. But then you get bullied out of it because it leaks to the public. You're like, oh, I mean, we didn't. Okay, we'll take it out. I'm like, stand 10 toes down. Have a backbone. Don't be a jellyfish. You put it in the contract. And by the way, that's the worst thing you could have done. You put it in the contract. You catch a lot of heat when it goes public, and then you're like, I'm so sorry. And then you take it away. You look like a loser. And we still remember that you put it in the contract in the first place. The best thing you could do is have conviction. Yes, we put that in there. And hey, we have all kinds of things in contracts. If I was the head coach or general manager of the Cardinals, I would have came right up to the podium. Of course, we have all kinds of things in deals. That's what happens. So I don't know what you guys are making a lot of this for, making much of this for nothing. So that's what I would say.
So how strongly do you prefer Derek Carr, if you do, to Kyler Murray?
And I want to answer your question and this to Mad Mert. So he says, so you think the Carr talk is gossip, but Murray is gospel. I think the Jets have to fully investigate these claims of anonymous stuff. So Rich Cimini talked to a former teammate, unnamed. That's fine. He doesn't have to reveal his sources. But he spoke, and I believe him. Rich Cimini, he's covered the Jets longer than anybody. He says he spoke to a former Kyler Murray teammate that completely warned the Jets, oh my goodness, do not go anywhere near that guy. Okay. And he talked about leadership issues, all that. Connor Hughes just had an anonymous report from a coach at work with Kyler Murray. Oh, Jesus, leadership issues, work ethic concerns, this. I've been hearing that for a while, but what's true and what's not? I don't know. That's what the Jets hopefully are doing homework on, like they did with Tua earlier this week, that you do homework on players and you learn as much as you can and have as much of an educated and informed decision you can before you make said decision. So I don't know what is true or not. So I want that to be clear. So I read through what has been thrown at Carr. I'm like, I don't really buy it. The Murray stuff, I don't know. There's just been so much of it. There's been a lot more of the noise on Kyler Murray than there is Derek Carr. That doesn't mean it's truthful, but again, that's up to the Jets to figure out, and I hope they do. So how much do I prefer Carr to Murray? Again, there's pros and cons. Murray's going to be a veteran minimum, $1.3 million. I love that. That's clearly less than Derek Carr is going to play for. So I like that part of the equation. He played football last year, even though not a lot because he was hurt, but he's played football. He didn't step away for a year. When you step away, it could be good or bad. You could get healthy and have clearer eyes and you could come back fresh, or else you could be rusty and it could be difficult to get that car turning over again. So to me, I think there's pros and cons to both. I'd be fine with either, to be honest with you. Either would be a massive upgrade over whatever the hell we called quarterbacks last season. But my preference would be Derek Carr because, again, he's put up a lot of really good numbers. He's been around forever, a veteran, and he obviously has the relationship with Bill Musgrave. We don't, I believe, have a direct coaching connection outside of Aaron Glenn knowing Kyler Murray's father. So that part of it I like. So they should have as much inside information as possible. Bill Musgrave was his offensive coordinator for 2 years with the Raiders. So I'd imagine he knows Derek Carr intimately well, and vice versa. Here's the other thing here. It's not just the Jets picking the date. This isn't a hostage situation where all the quarterbacks are tied up in a warehouse and we get to pick anyone we want. From everything we understand, it takes two to tango. They want them and they have to want you. I think us having Bill Musgrave makes Derek Carr want this a little more. Is Kyler Murray's father and Aaron Glenn these best buddies, which it sounds like all reports are? Does that mean anything to Kyler Murray? If he's playing, because here's the thing: Kyler Murray is playing for $1.3 million if he plays for the Vikings, the Saskatchewan Roughriders, or the Jets. He's playing for the same amount of money no matter what. So this is purely a football decision. So it's not about money. So to me, does he want to play for the Jets? That I don't know.
Well, it's interesting since we started the program today talking about Frank Reich's influence on guys they keep or guys they don't keep. Mm-hmm. So you can see he's got pretty firm control offensively of the personnel that he wants. And again, everybody has said for weeks now he likes, tall, good armed quarterbacks who can stand in the pocket, and that ain't Kyler Murray. In fact, yesterday I was looking because I have not played football like, even high school like you did. And so I just looked and said, so what offensive changes do you have to make when you have a quarterback who is short? And there are significant changes you have to make. Sure. And one of them is you're almost always not going to take the snap from center. You're going to be, back and that sort of thing. So you increase his ability to see over the offensive line. In fact, it's kind of interesting to me. It said he can have trouble seeing over the offensive line. And I always thought, well, he's got to also throw over the defensive line. On the defensive line, guys that got their arms up like this.
Right. The defensive guys are trying to inhibit you from passing. The offensive linemen are attempting not to.
Exactly. They're trying to get low and
that's funny.
Yeah.
That's right. But it is true though. Yeah, it is true.
Again, I think Murray's probably if Murray doesn't go to Minnesota, I would be surprised because he'd have an opportunity to start,
right?
And to save his career. Most people tend to say that now that he's getting released, this is the critical year in his NFL career.
Of course,
he's either going to prove himself somewhere, or he's going to prove himself somewhere as not somebody that deserves to be a starting quarterback of any note, in the league.
And let's just it's important to be honest with ourselves. This is a Jet show, and I'm wearing Jets, right? But Kyle, you just mentioned, and I agree with you, this is a pivotal year in Kyler Murray's career. His career could be on the line, at least as a longtime starting quarterback. If this goes horrifically wrong, maybe he's a backup forever. And hey, you could collect a lot of money.
Or a starting quarterback for a bad team for a long time.
Perhaps. Right? Yeah. So does he look in the mirror and say, you know what? I know where I know where I'm going to, save my career. I'm going to the New York Jets, baby. They have a long track record of quarterback success. Where else would I rather go? So again, you have to sort of be honest with yourself. But again, maybe he sees it. Again, I think it's not if you take away the curse and the horrible history of quarterbacks and all that stuff for the most part, and you just look at the current situation and you just you rub off the Jets logo off the helmet and you say, wow, this offensive line isn't too bad. Oh wow, Garrett Wilson. Oh wow, Breece Hall franchise tag. And wait a second, they still have $75 million in cap space to add more. Oh wow, they have 4 picks in the top 44 to add more. Okay, not too shabby. So if you're comparing just quarterback situations, I think there are much worse situations than the Jets. I don't think the Jets are the best situation, clearly, but to me, I think that's an interesting piece to the puzzle. So I'm fascinated. However, let me ask you this, Bob. Yeah. Do you believe when we do a show next week? So again, we do this every Friday. Yep. Spoiler alert, everybody. Will we know who the starting quarterback of the Jets is a week from now?
No.
Ooh, okay.
I think they will have because I don't think there's any hot guys on the market other than him.
Yeah, and Kyler, Derek, who else? I guess like a Kirk Cousins probably, but we have already discussed that.
And that's interesting. Kurt could go back to Minnesota too.
He could. Everyone wants to go to Minnesota, Bob, but only one will.
The lever in Minneapolis first.
Right.
Might get that job. I mean, I think the Vikings are going to be the ones on the hunt. And basically, they're going to be putting out the lures and say, okay, Kirk, Kyler, we got room for one of you. Who wants to bite first? Seriously, right. I think that's a very likely scenario.
Probably. It would make a lot of sense. By the way, there's over 400 people watching the show, which we appreciate across all our social media platforms. That includes 150 of you watching right now on YouTube, baby. So make sure you guys hit that like button here on YouTube. Come on now. That's a free way to contribute. We have 64 likes, but over 150 people in the room. So hit that like button. Also, folks, we are just a mere 2 subscribers away from 8,420. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you haven't already here on YouTube. And Bob was asking about this, so I want to do another plug because I saw it picked up some steam yesterday, which I'm very humbled by. Make sure you guys check out my full interview, and I'll throw this up here on the this is a different one because I uploaded a piece of this interview, but the one and only Trevor Sikkema of Pro Football Focus, the lead NFL draft analyst. The beginning of the show, if you watch the full interview, it's in our video section. You could catch this piece of the interview if you don't have the time for the full interview. It showed that Trevor Sikkema's bold combine prediction from last year about the Jets came true. And now I said, can you do it again, Trevor Sikkema? So you guys can check out that full interview with Trevor. He's a good friend of the program, and that interview is up. So after
it was very well done. It was very
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I love interviewing people. It's just a fun thing. I get a real.
It's and just digging and seeing how far you can go 100%. To really get the gems, because that's what a lot of people don't have top of mind exactly what they want to say when you ask them a question. So you have to keep digging a little bit deeper and digging a little bit deeper. One thing more about Kyler Murray in a situation.
Yes, please.
He would be coming into a situation where he would know this is a 1, maybe year and a half situation for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas if I go to Minnesota or I go somewhere else, I could be the guy, unquestioned. And I could have.
You don't think he could be the guy here potentially?
No, because they're going to draft a kid next year.
But what if he's awesome?
I don't know if Kyler Murray would be willing to basically work with and train his successor.
Well, what if? So let's play this scenario. I don't know how likely this is, but let's just play it out. Kyler comes here. He's awesome. Let's say they win 9 games or something.
Yeah.
And he has a very nice statistical season. And let's forget about all the Jets' first-round picks, because who knows how the Packers, Cowboys, or Colts are going to do. Who knows? But let's just put that aside for a second. If Kyler has that kind of year, Kyler will then – there's a few choices that could happen here. The Jets could franchise tag Kyler Murray and keep him. Mm-hmm. They could just let him walk out the door and he goes get paid a lot of money by someone else, or he could re-sign with the Jets. Do you think Kyler, after that 1 year, does he just use the Jets? And use feels too strongly of a word because we're using each other.
Not like Kirk Cousins did. Not
No. I mean, if he would come here and play for a year, he could use us in whatever way you want to interpret that word and then jump and get paid a lot of money by somebody else, or he could stay here. Do you think it's within the realm of possibilities that he could ball out at 28 with the Jets this year? And the Jets are like, wait a second, we don't need the draft. We got our quarterback right here.
Yeah, they're going to have to draft a young quarterback anyway.
Okay. All right.
And with 3 picks next year, if that is still the case, because who knows, they might make a deal here.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, I'm keeping my eye on the phone just in case. I guess.
It'd be crazy, and if the QBs next year, if it's a much stronger class and there's 2 or 3 guys that you're going to have to choose from to be, the selected one. I mean, you would still expect your starting quarterback to help bring this kid along. And you remember Aaron Rodgers' reaction in Green Bay, when they brought in Love. He was not happy. Like, where are the new receivers that I want? Instead, you draft my successor. I don't care for that.
Yeah, I would imagine most people don't for whatever that's worth. But which, again, I'm totally...
nobody in any profession likes to have to train the guy that's going to replace them if they know that that's the situation.
Right. Which, again, it makes a lot of sense. Bob, is there anything else you wanted to get to before the fans?
A great article this week in The Athletic for anybody that hasn't read it about Frank Reich. It really
Who is the author of that piece, Bob? Do you have that in front of you? Do you have the author of that piece in front of you?
No, I'd have to look at it. Actually, I do have it. I can get it when we do the break.
Okay, great. Because I just want to make sure whether it was the same one that I read. Because I saw a beautiful piece by Dan Pompey. He wrote a great piece.
I don't think it was by Dan Pompey, but it was just a fascinating insight into the guy, and it completely changed my attitude about him.
Wow!
Because first of all, he's very down to earth.
Yeah,
he's a God-fearing guy. He's very family oriented. And he is driven to succeed, especially in situations where it's not simple to succeed. And the article starts and talks about the fact that when he was 10 years old, I don't know if his dad did this deliberately or not, but there was this huge mound of dirt on one side of their backyard.
Yes, I heard the story. Yeah,
and his dad gave him a spoon. And a wheeler, and said, I need you to move that stack of dirt 20 feet to the other side of our backyard using only the spoon. And Frank came in twice and complained, this is going to take forever. And his dad kept saying, spoon after spoon after spoon. And he did it, and he learned from that there are obstacles that seem insurmountable, but you stick to it. Now, at one point, and this is one of the things that really turned me, we all remember that Frank Reich led to, at the time, the greatest comeback in NFL history in the wild card game that Buffalo played against Houston.
Correct.
Frank Reich also, at the time, led the greatest comeback in college football.
Yes, I remember that, yes.
When he was at the University of Maryland. And so he's used to facing adversity right in the face, and succeeding. And he's really driven to do that. And that's why he has people, like Andrew Luck, that are just such strong proponents of him. And that's why Andrew Luck brought him in, to coach for 1 year at Stanford, because he said, hey, we've been 3-9, 2 years in a row. So we don't have great expectations. But I personally believe that you can do something with these kids that's going to raise their level of capability. And he finished 4-8. But Andrew Luck is quoted in the story as saying, hey, don't overlook that. That was not an easy thing to do.
And I can confirm, I have the story in front of me. That was Dan Pompey. I absolutely loved that.
He's a great
piece.
writer. He's a Chicago guy. He's a great football writer.
Oh, yes. And I attempted to get him on the show. He's a very busy guy, so I couldn't, but he was too busy. But I wanted to get him on the show after that column. I'm like, oh, my goodness. That was, and he sat down with him. There's some pictures on his Instagram of him sitting down with Frank Reich at the facility.
For everybody, because they'll get a big kick out of it. And they'll learn
100%. Yeah. Yeah, for those that didn't, I will share it right now in the YouTube comment section. So if you're watching right now on YouTube,
read the headline aloud.
Yeah, for sure. Here it is. This is the headline. Frank Reich is the master of the comeback. The Jets might be his biggest challenge yet. And again, there is for those who didn't know, at the time of these comebacks, the NFL one still stands. His college one has since been taken down, but he had the largest comeback in college football history and NFL history in that wild card round game.
So if they get off to a slow start offensively, he's not going to give up and he's not going to pout. He's going to work even harder at it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Taylor Sterling, Reich takes life by the balls. Yeah, that's a way to very bluntly and viscerally put it. Yes, I do like Frank Reich. Again, I said it. I got some heat for saying it at the time, but I hope more people are coming on board. I really like the hire of Frank Reich. I think it is clearly an upgrade over Tanner Engstrand, and I don't know what Frank Reich's ceiling is. We don't even know who the hell the starting quarterback is, which is impossible to even answer that question. But I think the floor has risen. The floor has risen. Our offensive floor was this last year. It stunk. I think the floor is higher. How much higher? I don't know, but I think there's a floor. Like, we're going to be at least.
It's a great curiosity.
It's been a long time.
It's a great curiosity to me. How much more difficult it will make it for the Jets next week to get the wide receiver they want, whether it's a big name or more likely a serviceable name, without knowing who the quarterback is.
Of course, right. Alec Pierce, I'm just going to use him as an example. Another Indianapolis guy. Man, Bobby Jr. must love all the Colts references I'm making on the show today. Alec Pierce made it known that one of the reasons he is not going to sign with Indianapolis before free agency is he says there's an uncertain quarterback situation. Jano Jones's transition tag, he may not even be there. So, Alec, it sounds like it's very important to him to go to a place where there's stable quarterback play. So, Jet fans, if you were hoping for that, I've got bad news.
He's talking about Tennessee and Buffalo.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, good. You make as much money as you. Now, Buffalo's probably off with the DJ Moore trade.
Probably off, and I don't know with a second-year quarterback at Tennessee,
that'd be bold.
Really,
yeah, staying inside the division. New England's probably going to be in the mix too because they have swung and missed on a lot of wide receivers in recent years. Brandon Ayuk, they missed on. Who's the other one? There was a trade that they rejected. I couldn't remember who else. Yeah, a bunch of people. Chris Godwin, that was one. They tried to overpay Chris Godwin. He's like, no, thanks. I'll take less money to stay in Tampa, which I laughed. I hate the Patriots, so I enjoy anytime I see those stories. But they're probably going to try to swing big at wide receiver. I'm sure they'd love A.J. Brown, reconnect him with
Pierce
Mike
wants
Vrabel.
$30 million.
Who does?
Pierce wants $30 million.
Good. Get the money you can. I hope he doesn't go to the Patriots because that'd be disgusting. But get your bag, young man. You only get to be a free agent so many times in your career. When you're wanted, I blame no man. I don't pocket watch other people. Hey, man, you get your money. I've got nothing. Now, if a player gets signed here to the Jets, I will react whether I think someone was overpaid or underpaid or not. But good for you, the person. I'm just some talking head over here. Good for you. If Alec Pierce can get $30 million a year, God bless America. That's what America's all about. It's a capitalist society, baby. Get as much money as you can from anywhere you want to get it. That's the world. You are what your value says you are. How much are you worth? Whatever the guy's willing to pay you. That's your worth. And
so, did you cover all the rumors that you referenced early on?
Say that one more time.
Did you cover all the rumors?
Oh no, I didn't.
Why don't you get them out of?
Yeah, let's do that, and then we'll get to the phone lines here. This one shouldn't be surprising, but Connor Hughes reported that the Jets are very in on Alex Anzalone, the Detroit Lions linebacker. The problem is, though, and everyone has seemingly penciled in this signing for a while. The problem is, and as Connor Hughes pointed out, there is a quote robust market for him. And Connor Hughes does not get the sense that this is a slam dunk signing for the Jets. Like a lot of people have just foregone conclusion. Jets are getting Alex Anzalone. This budding market apparently may make that difficult. And again, that's why we go back to don't make me tap the sign. Ding ding ding. If they can't get Alex Anzalone, Demario Davis is a fallback.
Plan. When I saw Demario Davis on screen last week, I said, yeah. It was a shame they ever let him go twice.
It is twice.
The only problem is, you said he probably would cost $9 million. That's a lot of money for a 38-year-old linebacker.
Yeah. He's he's a little up there in age, but that's okay. Age is just a number. It's how you feel is how old you really are. And hey. I think we'll see.
No, I can tell you definitively, it's not how old you feel.
Yeah, well, so there it is for Damien. So again, the fact that the Jets are connected to Alex Anzalone, it normally doesn't require one of these, Bob. I normally don't. Yeah, that's not breaking news. Yes, of course. Alex Anzalone has been in the NFL for 9 years. 8 of the 9 years have been spent with Aaron Glenn. 4 in New Orleans, 4 in Detroit. I'm not surprised that Aaron Glenn, who's calling defense this year, would like to go to his old Mike linebacker when he was a defensive coordinator, certainly in Detroit, where he's calling plays into his head. So they're very close. Makes a lot of sense. But apparently, if his market is crazy as it is, I don't want to overpay for Alex Anzalone. If Alex wants to come here and Aaron Glenn wants him, I've got no issue. I'm not going to complain. There will be several Jets people in our universe that complain and say all kinds of things. And there will be callers that complain. I will not complain at all unless it's crazy money. That I will complain a little bit.
The one thing we know about their linebacker situation and improving it is that Aaron Glenn wants guys who are big and heftier and stronger, 250, 260 pounders versus the 225, 230 pounders that can scamper all over the field.
Yeah. So again, so apparently they're interested in that. And then I guess the fallback plan, I'll write a story about this after the show. But the fallback, so if I say the fallback plan should be Demario Davis, but Connor Hughes says the fallback plan could be Giants linebacker Micah McFadden. He says the Jets have interest in him as a potential fallback plan if Alex Anzalone falls through. Fine, if you want to save him on moving costs, I guess he could just start working down the street. He's not my top option, but that's a fine player. I'll do some more research and get that column out here in a little bit. But yeah, those are some of the latest rumors, and there's more rumors to come. Again, rumors are overflowing at this point. Again, we are now 3 days away from the legal tampering
period. Wait till
Monday,
Monday
at noon.
When you start
my
to see everything, the
signings are going to happen. Yeah, it's supposed to just be conversations, but at noon you will see it on Monday. Like minutes in, you'll be like, boom, signing, boom, boom, boom. So we're all going to have to be ready. Buckle your seatbelts because like signings are going to come. And then the league year kicks off a few days later. So again, it's legal tampering period is Monday at noon. At noon, that's when it starts. Wednesday at 4:00 is when the new league year. That's when trades become official. That's when signings become official. That's when teams can talk about them. So the Jets, for the first time, can officially talk about Jermaine Johnson being traded as a random example. So all that is coming here very shortly.
Okay.
Sure is.
And I saw yesterday one of the columnists who writes one of the Jet columns was talking about a linebacker on Kansas City,
Leo Chenal.
Yeah, who is young.
Yeah.
And again, he's a 250 pounder. But you made a great point, and I'll give you the credit for this and why.
Nice.
Why
when you do.
Why Dominic, why the linebacker that you suggested is so important, and that is somebody that can work side by side. With our linebacker who is so inconsistent and so bad.
Sherwood.
Yeah, Sherwood, and someone who needs direction, who needs to have a leader next to him who says, okay, here's what we want you to do. Here's what we're going to just basically almost like a father figure on the field. Who basically who gets you straight and gets you to do what he knows you can do. So I get that too. And Demario Davis certainly is somebody who is that kind of lead. I mean, he's going to be a great linebacker coach or more somewhere.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm resigned to that fact. And again, Leo Chenal, big salute to him. He's 25, 6'3", 250. You mentioned it. He would be wonderful. Like throw him in the group if you want to look at some of the younger linebackers instead of going older like me that I wanted with Demario for leadership. And I think there's leadership voids on this team that need to be filled. And Demario's one of the best leaders in the National Football League. He is just when he speaks, people listen. When he walks, people follow, and I just love that. I love the on the field stuff is terrific. He had a career high in tackles last year, and he's been a 5-time All-Pro and a 2-time Pro Bowler. So he's still getting it done at his age, which is very commendable. Like him a lot. All right, Bob, are you ready for the fans?
I'm ready for HEP.
Here we go. I imagine HEP might be first. Here we go. We'll play a quick HEP timeout. You guys will see a short little break here live from our tailgate this year. We'll welcome your phone calls next after this.
1, 2, 3. Whoa! Bugging daily, bugging daily, bugging daily. Talking Jets football, man. Bugging daily, bugging daily, bugging daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. Everyone, J-E-T-S, Jets. Boy Green, bugging daily, bugging daily, bugging daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green, bugging daily, bugging daily, bugging daily. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S, Jets. Let's go!
Welcome back, everybody. Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. And before we get to the phone lines, we have reached 8,420 subscribers. Let's go! what I'm talking about, baby. To celebrate, I will gift 5 memberships right now to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Thank you guys for your wonderful support of this show. It's been a lot of fun. So let's get some membership gifting out to the audience. Here you go. A 5-pack of Boy Green Coffee Club memberships from yours truly. Thank you for everyone that supported the show. So Boy Green, I don't get 5 raffle tickets to my own contest. I don't believe that's how that works. But nonetheless, here we go, baby. It's celebration time. Let's
Kevin
go.
James.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
All right, here are the 5 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Thanks to Boy Green. What a great guy. NYJ Don't Tell Him. Lawrence Yance. Infrared Jets. Matthias Morales. And Johnny Bobani. You guys are all now members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Again, we just surpassed 8,420 subscribers here on YouTube. We're 10 away from another milestone. Let's keep climbing. 8,430 is next in line and target as we climb closer to 10,000 subscribers, baby. So thanks for all the support, everybody. All right, the phone lines are open. That's youtube.com/boygreen25. That is a pinned comment on YouTube if you'd like to call into the program. All right, Bob, you know what to do.
Here's Hep.
Go!
There we go.
Fellas, how's it going?
What's up, pal? Good morning.
Good. By the way, if anybody cares, my quarterback room, since I hear Jacoby Brissett, is not going to be that expensive.
It sounds not. Yeah, right.
Mariota and Alar.
I missed your first one. So who is it again?
Jacoby Brissett.
Yep.
Mariota and Alar.
That's a good room.
I like that room. That's not bad. Okay.
Yeah. I like Alar a lot. I was considering, did you guys hear the rumor about Caleb Downs and his degenerative knee injury? McAfee addressed it yesterday, saying that he called all 32 NFL teams, and they said that nobody's buying into that. However, where there's smoke, there's fire sometimes. So I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I looked into that because, I will try not to make this a long story, but why some people say every year, like, the combine, the stupid underwear Olympics, what does it even mean? Why is it even still here? Who cares? Blah, blah, blah. I think the reason it will forever be around while I'm alive and long after is the medicals, is that you have 32 team doctors that are all represented from every team. You have a independent person that has no affiliation to any team, and they're all weighing these guys, measuring them, running through all the tests. And I don't have the player's name. I wish I did, but someone discovered that they had some very serious illness at the combine, and now they're going to be able to address it and help this young man. These are the best doctors on the planet.
Sure.
Yeah, I told the story a couple of weeks ago about the guy who came in a normal thing, and they said, "Hey, you know that you've broken your leg in 3 places?" And he's like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, you've been playing with a broken leg in 3 places." And they're like, "Good Lord!" And then they get surgery and fix it. It's like, it's just when I hear these stories, they almost sound made up. Like, how could you be just living your life just walking
you also
around?
hear about guys who, when the MRI is taken, say, in fact, there's a famous player, and I'll think of it. I don't know it now.
Okay.
Was his name Joe Namath?
It was Winston Hill.
Ooh, a Hall of Famer.
Did you know that you have been playing with this really serious broken something or other, that got, years ago that got repaired on its own? And Winston Hill said, I had no idea. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, Christ.
But when the doctor did the X-ray, that's what he found. Caleb Downs is going to make not only a pro day, at college, but he's going to go visiting probably a dozen teams that are interested in drafting him, and those doctors are going to be privy to the information that supposedly now is public. So. Yeah, they'll be able to make their own judgments.
But to answer your comment real quick, Hep, I think this is the simplest thing that Caleb can do is at his pro day work out. go through a workout. If you don't, it's going to raise, even if it's true or not. Sometimes perception is reality. You hear those rumors, and Caleb didn't work out at the combine, and now all of a sudden he doesn't potential work out at his pro day ahead of the draft, and you're all like, I don't know what's real or not. Even if I get him in my building and I'm running them through tests, but like he's not working out, like, that's dangerous if I'm a team.
But
rumors could tank you.
He could still work out and be afflicted with that problem.
That's true too.
He could, but seeing him actually work out and go through, because especially on some of these pro days, pro day, it's a dress rehearsal, so they've gone through this a lot of times. But hopefully, if you bring him in your facility for a top 30 visit, that you get to run him through the gambit a little bit, and you get to put him in pressure situations and see how he responds. But sometimes you hear about Daquan Bowers. This is a story from a long time ago. Clemson defensive end. He was supposed to be a top 10 pick. They found this degenerative knee thing and said, "Hey, he can play in the league, but it's only going to be for like 7 years. It's going to be the cartilage will be gone. It'll just be knee on knee." And he went from this top 10 pick to like I can't remember where he went in the draft. He fell all the way. Yeah, that's where I believe he went. And then you're just like, man, the life-changing money from that medical visit that happened. So I like him a lot. If the Jets approve it, I'd be all for it because boy, we need safety help.
Hey, Hep, what do you think about trading a second-round pick for the best kicker in the NFL?
I think that's I think kickers are totally underrated. They win you. How many games are won by kickers? I mean, come on, man. It's like the running back room. They only get the ball like 50% of the time. Every time you touch the ball, you can get a touchdown. So it's ridiculous. These guys that are underrated, kickers and running backs, and the receivers get all the money. Right. I mean, it's so funny.
And wouldn't that be funny, right? So if the Jets did that, they'd be giving the Cowboys their second-round pick back. Yeah. Return to sender 44. Yeah, Dallas. Oh, you remember this, buddy? Here you go. Thanks for Brandon
Aubrey. I don't think Jerry Jones would be very happy at all.
Probably not. And again, the thing on this Brandon Aubrey thing is even if the Jets offered him like the largest contract in kicker history, the Cowboys would have the right to match. And even with so they could match it and then Jets, hey, shove your second round pick, buddy. We're not losing Aubrey. So they would have the right to match anyhow.
If the Giants would say thank you.
Yeah,
perhaps, right? Yeah,
we should definitely draft a kicker though in this year's draft.
Draft a kicker. We have enough picks. Sure, why not?
Is there somebody that you've seen that?
No, I haven't really got into it, but I always think that I always value the kicking position because how many times does it come down to we need this field goal to win the game? And it's like so somebody like Aubrey is a great weapon to have. I mean,
sure.
You get to the 50-yard line, it's like, okay, this is
that's
put
crazy.
It in the books,
Still crazy. I hope they let him because obviously he's got this sick leg, but the risk he doesn't, and no one on the planet does. So I'm not saying this is the expectation. He obviously doesn't have 100% field goal accuracy. So, anything can happen, a bad snap. There's all kinds of things that go into play for anyone that's ever been a field goal kicker before. But I hope that we get to a situation where he has a chance to kick like a 70-yarder because I think he can, but it's just your team, if you miss, you're just the other team's in the red zone already. So
you kick a field goal.
Yeah, right. So it has to be the right situation, like end of half, and you just can't advance any further. Like, what do we have to lose? Right. So let's give it a whirl. But I hope that those situations present itself so he could test it out.
The other thing that figures into this is the cap problem that a big kicker contract would pose to Dallas. Although obviously they can make adjustments and account for it. Your dad will tell you, how desperately they would not let him go. But anyway, I thought it was an interesting thing to consider.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you so much. There he is, Hep, joining us here on the program. Great stuff. And again, Brandon Aubrey love. Very nice. All right, you're getting some steam here. We'll see how many people continue to pick up on that. Again, we have 400 people in the room. If you'd like to call into the show, it is the pinned comment on youtube.com/boygreen25. You could be someone like Hep or Hef. That calls in 1,000,000 times, or you could be someone who's calling in for the first time. So we welcome all callers here on the program of all walks of life. And here's someone that's certainly gotten his Chase Blue points on these calls. That is a Johnny Boy who's up next with the sun behind him.
Oh, God, look at that.
Look at that, look at that glimmering sun. Yeah, look at that sunroof.
It's nice, man. It's out here. It's 70 today, so I'm trying to enjoy the weather as much as I can, even though I work home. So
supposed to be 70 in Chicago today too.
Let's go.
Hey, guys, shut up. All right. Jesus, I'm over here in New York, and it's probably -20 out. I have no idea what the hell it is out there, but I bet it's
you
not
can
70.
still enjoy the snow.
Yeah.
Has it turned black yet?
It's not in this town. It happens in the town over. When I'm going through, it's disgusting. It's just black piled up snow because of all the dirt, mud, and crap that goes all over the place. My front lawn, thankfully, is just this pure white bliss as it's slowly melting away. Hopefully,
we have leaves.
nice.
We have leaves that are starting to reappear because they were buried by the snow.
I saw grass for the first time in like 4 months because like the snow had started to melt away just so I could see my lawn, and I'm like, oh, is that grass under there? So in due time. But sure, what's on your mind, Johnny boy?
So Jets Worldwide, what's going on, Johnny?
Yeah, JWW. Shout out to Hep, bro. I love that he's talking about the kicker. I've always talked about the kicker. It's not talked about enough.
All right.
I like the kid Damian Zavada, that's out of Michigan.
Okay.
Check out his work whenever you get a chance, Bob.
All right.
What's his last name?
Zavada, Zvada.
Can you please use that in a sentence? And what is the country of origin?
Damian Zavada can kick over 70-yard field goals.
His name is Dominic.
Yeah, Dominic, my bad.
That's okay.
Dominic.
That must be his nickname for him. I mean, Johnny's pretty cool with a lot of people. That makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Yeah, it's Dominic. My fault. I've been watching Fast and the Furious so much.
Oh, okay. I've never seen those, but
you should. I wanted to come up here because I think we put a hole in the wide receiver room when we let Metchie go. So it's pretty much like we're getting a wide receiver in the draft. Like, right?
Okay.
It is do you guys agree with that? Or Lemon's happening if he's there at 16.
It sounds like it from Trevor. Trevor joined me on the show, and he's like, that's going to be the number one receiver on the Jets board based on what he believes the Jets look into and stuff. I just, I don't know if does John Metchie leave a hole in the room? If a tree falls in a forest and no one was around, did we hear a sound? Maybe, I guess, but I'm not sure. Again, I think John Metchie is a fine player. Just he's fine, and there's nothing wrong with fine. Fine's fine. That's the fine thing to be. But I just don't think it's this massive loss. Now, I think it does. I'm not saying we don't need wide receiver help. We needed wide receiver help. But I'm going to be honest. I think we needed wide receiver help with John Metchie. We needed wide receiver help without John Metchie. I think he was inconsequential. I think there was Garrett Wilson, there was Adlai Mitchell, there's a big gaping hole that could be a veteran, it could be trade, it could be draft, it could be a lot of different things. And then hopefully Isaiah Williams gets some opportunities. I think he looked good at the end of the year. And then you're probably going to get another guy. You're probably adding 2 receivers this offseason in some form or fashion. But yeah, I don't know if John Metchie's this big deal.
But BG and Bob, right? It's like Garrett Wilson and then a whole bunch of question marks.
Sure.
Because A.D. Mitchell, it's still a developing kid. It's not like for sure that he is wide receiver 2 all the way. Some people have him as a wide receiver 3. Some people don't even like the guy, right? I like him, but some people don't. I remember when your son was on, Bob, and he was talking about A.D. Mitchell, how he didn't have it all the way up here, so it's a giant question mark. It's why I was pushing for us, dude. If Romeo Doubs is able to come to us at a really good deal, why not? I would do it. Big body, his completion. I mean, his drop percentages, right? Look it up. It's not there. He doesn't drop balls, bro. Like it's pretty intriguing. So, anyways, shout out to Ricky because Ricky's been championing Romeo Doubs for a while now, and hey, why not? But the last thing, and BG, I had to come up here and talk about this, bro.
All right.
Yo, if you thought that I was talking junk about Alex Anzalone being 1 year too late,
yeah,
Demario Davis is 10 years too late, bro.
So why do you hate old people? Why do you hate old
because
people?
they're going young, man.
How long have you hated? Yeah, how long have you hated old people?
I love old people, man. I mean, I got a thing for gilfs, man. Like,
whoa. All right. Well, thanks for that.
So,
have you put your dad in the retirement home yet?
No, I'll never do that. My dad, that's why I bought my house, and it's for once they get old, they got a room for themselves.
Do you have a room for Demario Davis too, or?
No, I don't. I mean, look, I love Demario Davis. Don't get me wrong.
Apparently not.
The dude's
and what do you mean they're going young? Didn't you hear Darren Mucci at the
January.
combine? He says that one of the things, Eric Allen's like, hey, what can you tell us about free agents? He says, one of the things I'm excited to do is add veterans to this team that can bring leadership and experience to this team. And that is a far cry from what they said last year. That doesn't sound like young guppies to me. I'm not saying they're not adding any young people. They probably will. More often than not, a 90-man roster is mostly young people, not old people. But like, it sounds like they want to add veterans. And I'm not saying let's bring in a tribe of elders. That's not 53 players old. But what's wrong with a couple of old guys? Like, what's wrong with a little bit of experience? What's up with a little bit of silver fox? It's like all of a sudden Johnny Boy's got some vendetta against people over the age of a certain thing. You're going all Leonardo DiCaprio on me. Like, come on, Johnny Boy.
I'd rather take Fabio. Give me Alex Anzalone. That's like almost 7 years younger than Demario Davis. Like, Bob, I like the name you picked. I've been saying it. If you guys want to fix some of the linebacking that's going to fit the scheme that they're going to, go Devin Lloyd, go Leo Chanel, right? That fixes your room. And these are some vets that are there that are still young, right? You just got the kid that just got out of Chicago, right? He's 27, Edwards. Like,
no, actually, I think he's 30. I think he's 32.
Edwards. Who are you talking about? Edwards. What am I missing?
Tremaine Edwards got released.
Oh, Tremaine Edmonds. Tremaine Edmonds. Yeah. What about him?
He's young. I thought he's like 20. I think he's like 27.
Yeah, let me see. Let me pull it up for a minute. When he entered the league, he was 20 years old. He is 27. He turns 28 in May.
Yeah, he's still young. Like, I would, if you want a vet, like, go that route, which would fit a culture or whatever you're trying to do. Like, I love Demario Davis when he was over here, bro. Like, I hate it when we let him go, but it's a little bit too late, especially if you're trying to do what you're trying to implement, right? Like, you got the guys in Phillip. Like, those are like your vets that are in there that could, put down what they need to put down. I mean, Garrett Wilson, if I'm going to be honest with you, he needs to step up, and he used to use his voice a lot more in the locker room. So, bro, like, if we're talking about getting some vets to fix stuff, look, I know that Mark Sanchez is stabbing to get a chance to come back into the NFL, right? So, like, I would potentially go that way. He's 38, right? So
yeah, he's getting up there. Yeah.
I'm kidding. No, don't do that.
By the way, Dominic Zavada's kicked 56-yard field goals multiple times.
Ooh, okay, nice.
Yeah, with a seventh round pick. They win you games. How many times we would have killed, when was it that year that we were losing games by 3, that we just needed a field goal to win a game, or I think we were losing by 2 or whatever. Yeah, all day, every day. Like, it's just not talked about enough. And Nick Folk maybe mentors this young buck that you could probably stash up in the practice squad if you pick him up in the 7th round. Or Nick Folk turns into Greg Zuerlein out of nowhere on us, because my understanding is when the kickers go, they go. Like, that leg is done.
Sure.
Do you want to be put in a position again like that? I don't. I want to win some games, man. So, but all right. Well, BG, it's always a pleasure. Bob, I love when you get up here, man, because I always want to ask you, those guys that you've known in the past, does any of them remind you with all the BS that Breece Hall continues to keep tweeting, being up in his feeling, drinking wine at night and saying, oh, let me look at this movie called, what is it called, BG?
Big Fat Liar.
Big Fat
BFL.
Liar.
Biffle,
right?
as it's come to be known. Yes.
I'm just going to.
Well, obviously, we didn't have social media back in the 60s.
Hey, appreciate you guys, man. Hey, go Jets.
Johnny, have a great weekend.
You too.
Thank you, Johnny Boy, joining us here on the show. Let's get a super chat in here. I want to squeeze this in. Very nice. Let's go to How About Them Jets. Love that. And thank you for supporting the show. Super chat coming through.
Wow.
As a poor man's broadcaster with my career, I love pronouncing names correctly. It is a stickler thing for me. So I hope that I do this name justice. But how about them Jets with the $2 super chat? Says Para Garrett with Stribling from Ole Miss. He's a sleeper. I have his NFL Combine profile up here. His name is Dejon Stribling. He's an Ole Miss receiver. He's listed at 6'2", 207 pounds. At the combine, he ran a 4.3, 640, 153, 10-yard split, 36-inch vertical jump, 10.7 broad jump. There's some nice numbers here. I'm looking at some of the analytics. He had a 69 production score. That's 21st among NFL combine receivers. But he was top 5 in athleticism score, so he graded quite favorably there and was a 16th in total score when you look at some of the deeper numbers here. And here was the quick review from Lance Zierlein, NFL draft analyst. A long striding vertical access wide receiver with steady play and production. Stribling has good size and early acceleration to climb over the top of coverage, but lacks short area quickness to gain separation underneath. His downfield ball skills are above average, but he struggles to consistently carve out catch space and fight through contested catch contact for tight coverage wins. He does have legit speed after the catch once he finds open grass. He projects him as a wide receiver 4 at the next level, and I don't see a draft projection for him, but it says he will start out as a backup. He has the potential to develop eventually into a starter. I like that name. That's not a name I've heard often. I don't know if you have anything to add here, Bob, from How About Them Jets.
It just sounds like a day 3.
Which would be interesting. Hey, they need help. So how about them Jets? Thank you for putting that on our radar. And hey, maybe we'll circle back to you with your own prediction. I was giving Trevor Sikkema love earlier. So maybe you will have your own Jets prediction there. So I love that. Very nice. All right, let's keep going back to the phone lines here. Again, over 400 people in the room. Folks, again, a reminder, 130 of you, 400 are watching on YouTube. Hit that like button. It's a free way to contribute to the show. If you enjoy the show, hate the show, I don't care how you feel about the show, like the video. That helps this show gets in front of other Jet fans out there in the audience. We're a couple likes away from 100. Let's make sure we push over that goal line, baby. We'd appreciate it here on the program. Again, the ability to call in is on youtube.com/boygreen25. Up next is one of the legendary callers in Jets content creator land. It is an OG, I call him. It is Neil Sr. in a beautiful backdrop. Very nice.
Yeah, down in Myrtle Beach, doing a lot of golfing.
Stomping grounds. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, positive ways out there blowing smoke.
This is Barefoot Landing. It's a
let me see. Let's go full screen here. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Nice.
It's really pretty.
Yeah, you're killing it, Neil.
What's that, Bob?
What's the temperature?
70.
Ooh, nice. Okay. Good. Yeah.
Anyhow, yes, first of all, Folk is available. I mean, we what's happening with Folk as a kicker? We're gonna still have a chance to get Folk back, right?
Yes. So apparently, according to Tom Pelissero earlier this week, Nick Folk has decided he will not retire and he will be playing football, but he is set to be a free agent in a couple days. So I hope the Jets bring him back.
No, you got to bring Folk back. I mean, you look at the other options; they're like 78% kick percentage. He was 98%. So I'm not so interested in guys kicking 70-yarders. I'm interested in somebody who is a proven commodity that will kick a game winner from 45 or 50. So Folk is not even a discussion. What I wanted to bring up is,
yes, sir,
little thought on the quarterback room. Mm-hmm. If we go Kyler Murray, we want to get a couple of other options to back him up in case he gets hurt that have the same run pass ability. So I would take Dobbs as a backup. I don't know what his cost is going to be, but he's a nice backup. He's certainly.
You're talking about Joshua Dobbs?
Yeah, I would. Joshua Dobbs. Yeah, as a backup. Or even Anthony Richardson is his backup because he's a cult guy. Reich knows him. That could be somebody you could bring in as well. And we'll attack it, from a run-pass option standpoint, something we wanted to do last year with Fields, but he decided he doesn't like to run. And they tried to turn him into a passer, which we know is a big mistake. One thing, there's the guy I saw in the combine, this guy, Taylon Green, the quarterback that
Arkansas.
is.
Oh, yeah. Massive.
Let me tell you something with him, okay? This is a guy you could take. I don't know what's his projection, his 4th round, 5th round. He's not going to be one of the top 5 or 10 quarterbacks to go. But this is a guy you could draft, that could be useful during the season as a Brad Smith type of player. A guy that could run kicks back. He's got tremendous speed. He could come in on gadget plays. He's big and strong. And the guy had the intangibles he ran better than most receivers in the 40. And what is the guy? He's like 6'4", 240. He's huge. Guy is very, very big, and he would be an interesting guy that you could use rather than just take one of these flyers on somebody who's going to sit the bench and go in the practice squad and learn. At least there's a useful method for him. That's if we go the running style. I'm personally interested in getting a Mac Jones, even if I had to give up something, and going with a pocket passer and then doing something similar as a backup in the quarterback room. That's my first choice. But if we go with the Kyler Murray and we do a run pass type scheme, then you bring a guy like Tylen Green in there at a late round, and he could be a benefit, beside another backup.
Yeah, 6'6". I mean, he is just.
The guy is a monster, and he's not even. He could be transferred into a big wide receiver. He's got a lot of potential, and they could use him immediately and be a benefit rather than just wasting a draft pick on a quarterback and letting him sit there with a clipboard and not have any use at all for him. So I'm all for that. And again, we're going to pick a quarterback next year anyway, so we might as well have somebody that could contribute year one if we don't like any of the. Nussmeier or any of these other guys. As far as free agency is concerned, last year I had a big beef that we didn't take any veterans on the team. We had no leadership, no veterans on either side of the ball. And that was a problem. I wanted a guy like Calais Campbell, even though he's old. He's a guy that comes in and you want somebody that takes the huddle. That's why Ancelone, and as far as linebacker goes, guys, you have to have a guy that has experience, that could quarterback the defense, that understands the game, even if he's older. Even Demario Davis, for a year, at least two things. When a running back hits Demario Davis or Ancelone, they stop. They don't get 5 extra yards, and like we used to see Damian Sherwood and Quincy getting running backs carrying them for 3 or 4 extra yards after they make the initial hit. We had, CJ Mosley, we missed more than any player on this team, guys. He was the guy. He was the quarterback. When he came out of the game, the defense was entirely different. So we need a veteran, big, strong linebacker that has smarts, that is going to be able to. And the same thing with safety. I think we go with an experienced safety that we could pick up in free agency, and then we go younger all around those guys. So those are my 2 main thoughts. I want your guys' opinion on that. Have a great day.
I appreciate it. There he is.
Enjoy the weekend.
Yeah. Oh boy, he certainly is. Yes, I would. A lot of thoughts there. I would say for sure on the safety thing. I think that's one of the big things the Jets have to cross off their proverbial bucket list. Rich Cimini brought up last week, make a Fitzpatrick trade. If that's for nothing, I'd be interested because he's a talented player. There's a ton of safeties I've talked about in my top 5 call list. I brought up Kevin Byard, but there's Reed Blankenship, there's Brian Cook, there's Kobe Bryant. There's like just a countless amount of options available in free agency. I would make a splash at safety and bring in a veteran in here to pair up with Malachi Moore and maybe add another one during the draft. I think they should make a safety splash. What say you, Bob?
I agree with Neil about the experience that they need, and defending what you said before about Demario Davis. Campbell is 39 years old. And watching him against the Jets, he was on New Orleans, right?
Campbell.
Calais, was it Calais?
Oh, Calais Campbell. Yes. Yes, he's old as hell.
Let
me pull him up. Yeah.
He might have been the best defender on the field against the
Jets. He's 39. He will be 40 before the start of the 2026 season.
Yeah, I mean, he's brought in for a year. And I remember Neil and other people, exhorting the Jets to bring him in.
And as did I love Calais Campbell.
Yeah. Because of he could still play, and because of his experience and his leadership.
Right.
And he's right about Demario Davis. When the running back hits Demario Davis, play's over.
Oh yeah. Yeah. 100%.
And that's the kind. But that's why AG wants bigger, stronger, tougher linebackers. He doesn't want He doesn't want the linebackers running all over the field trying to make tackles. He wants the immovable object there, waiting for the running back to try to get by him. He takes him down.
Yeah. So again, I agree. Some good points there from Neil. Taylon Green, we've talked about before. He's 6'6". He blew up the combine. At the combine, every once in a while, if there's an interesting player, they'll say, "Here's who he compares to favorably with his traits and everything."
And who did he compare to?
Wide receiver DK Metcalf. And you're like, and it's just like, holy crap. It just is it's a tip of the cap to the explosiveness and athleticism and everything else that Taylon Green has. When Taylon Green was told that at the combine, he says, "I don't care. I'm a quarterback, so stop."
I was about to say, but is he willing to play anything other than quarterback?
He said no. He reiterated several times when asked, "I am a quarterback." And, some people, I'm fine if he wants to. Obviously, he's been playing quarterback for a large chunk of his life, and he wants to keep being quarterback. He should attempt to see that out. But eventually, you have to reach a point, and I'm not saying he has to do this. People said this about Lamar Jackson. That worked out pretty well for sticking out at quarterback, so good for him. You have to be sort of the author of your own story. If he tries a quarterback thing and it doesn't work, he can either die on that hill or be forced to pivot and say, "You know what? If I want to keep an NFL career," Terrell Pryor. Right? He came in as a supplemental draft quarterback, eventually played for the Jets because everyone does in the universe, and he played wide receiver and was halfway decent with his talent. So you have to sometimes make those decisions.
Yeah, and Green may not really be willing, to play that role that Neil was talking about. He may just want to be the guy who takes a snap from center and runs the offense, not goes in for a gadget play here or there.
But talented kid for sure. So I'd be very intrigued. Very intrigued. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Up next is Professor Philly Doodles.
Good morning, gentlemen. How you doing?
Good morning, Professor.
Doing well. Yeah.
All right, so we'll get right to it.
Oh, okay.
We got
There it is.
Oh, wow.
No,
there's a lot of activity. Okay, let me see. All right. You may have to lean this up against something or something.
You are a professor, but can you summarize that in about 100 words?
Yeah. Well, go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead, Phil.
So let me flip the camera. That would probably make more sense.
Up, you turn the camera off. A beautiful kid there, and a nice hat. That's very nice. Okay, yep. All right.
Hold on.
Okay, yep. All right.
Facing back.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, don't worry. I help my dad with this all the time, pressing buttons. Okay,
on the next
there we go.
edition of Boy Green Daily.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Now we're getting up in there. All right, there
we can see who you really want.
Yeah, I can see that in bold letters at the bottom. But let's go in order. Go ahead, Professor. Take us through your dissertation.
If we're still going, I said we still go Sony Styles no matter what. And then the intriguing point is Downs going to fall because of the injury like Hep keyed in on? If so, do you move up from 16? I don't think he falls to 16, but do you move up from 16 if you see him get past, like 10? If he's there at 10, some 11, something weird like that, do you jump up? Because the Bengals would probably take him.
Supposedly the Giants want him really badly.
We'll see if that's true.
Yeah. So then we move on. If we do go Reese and we get him number 2, is it Lemon? Do we go McNeil Warren at 16? Or do we go Thieneman? Or could we go with Kenyon Sadiq instead? Is he in play at 16? Because if so, your wide receiver market is you're not as heavy as relying on it. Even though I know the news of Woods happened. I mean, if you bring Kenyon Sadiq, it's a 6'3" tight end. I mean, we're talking about that's a giant receiver. That's all that is.
Right.
It's Kyle Pitts. It's another Kyle Pitts, another Fannin. And look what happened with, he made Sanders look pretty good. So imagine what a veteran could do with Kenyon Sadiq,
Sure.
And then I will get to that with Brissett, because if Brissett is feeding McBride the way he did during the season, I'm sure he could feed Kenyon Sadiq. So that's just me. Okay. If we don't go Styles, Rodriguez at 44. I think that's another no matter what. I think that guy is something different. He's an all-around linebacker. He's just not a freak athlete, but he's good enough. I also got Mike Washington Jr. in there in case Hall holds out. Like if you predict that Hall's in a holdout, this guy's at every down back. The kid's fast as heck. Utica, New York connection. Let's get it happening, please.
There you go. Nice.
Don't you think they need another running back anyway?
I mean, depending on when Braylon comes back, and then they're probably gonna. Let's see what happens with Nguanu. You know what I mean? Like he does fill the running back room because his return skills are there, but he's 28 and his injuries did occur no matter what. He did help us win a game, but what's one game to an entire season when you only won 3? So you could just draft a guy like that, you know. So we go to resignings: Tippmann, Isaiah Williams. I think we should get Beck back. I think Folk. Sorry, Bob, I'm not with you on that one with your ledger. I gotta say, I'm not spending $7 million plus on a kicker, unless he's returning punts as well that he kicks. You know, he's playing both teams and he's going back and forth. So, and Simpson I added in there. That's just because the connection I have with his cousin. I feel like just get Simpson, please. I mean, what are we gonna do with ABT? Injuries too much. Trades still, no matter what. I think Brissett. And we're not even realizing that's a revenge game 4 times in a season. The Dolphins twice and the Patriots twice.
And the Cardinals who we play. So
look at that. 5 revenge games in one season. Come on, man.
Wait, actually, has he played for anybody else? Is there anyone else I'm missing that he is? Let me
definitely.
So we don't play the Colts this year, so no Colts. So that's not on the ledger. I'm just trying to see if there's any others. Oh wow. So wait, let's see. So do we play the Browns again this year?
Not sure.
Let me pull up this guy. Good Lord. I mean, every game is a revenge game for Jacoby Brissett, for God's sakes.
But it's a good quarterback revenge game.
No, for sure. Yeah. Okay. So I got the Jets opponents coming up here. So let's see. Do they play anybody else on this list? Let me see. Oh, yes, we do play the Browns. That's another revenge game for Jacoby Brissett. So we have, oh my God.
We're at 6. How many more you got?
Yep, that's right. So I believe that's it. Yep. I believe
so.
That's
who's going to get in his ear before? Who's going to get in his ear before each of those games and say, "Remember how they treated you"?
Hey, whatever works, man. I'm copacetic.
Frank Reich. He'll tell you, go grab that spoon and start shoveling outside, because if you get that type of anger.
Okay, right. All right. Great. This
and
is
then
great so far.
I added edge and wide receiver just because the market. I mean, could you ploy a wide receiver who's a little disgruntled somewhere? Maybe an edge. Can you see an expiring contract people want to get rid of? So my bonus is Jordan Brooks, expiring contract. He was a top-rated PFF graded linebacker.
Yeah, he's the Dolphins kid, right? You're talking about?
Yeah. So you got the Duker connection. Okay. Can you grab him? Because in here, I also put Isaiah Rodgers. I don't know if that's going to happen. But
the corner from Minnesota you're talking about? Okay.
Yeah, he's still got 2 more years, and I don't think what's his name is going to get rid of him.
Right. Yeah.
So Quay Walker, So Quay Walker is my first for linebacking position, but that juxtaposition is the fact that if we do grab Jordan Brooks, he would probably go to Miami to go back with Halfley.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So that's my, you know what I mean? So if we can do that, because then I don't think they're in play for Walker, and we can maybe, overpay Walker. And whatever we do with Sherwood is what it is. Okay. Anzalone, of course.
Yeah, right, sure.
And Davis.
Okay.
Cam Curl.
Davis, right? Yeah,
okay. Of course. Cam Curl is number 1 on my list.
The Rams safety.
Yeah. It's got to happen. I think if I'm going to pencil in someone who gets signed for overpay, it'd be Cam Curl. I'd also go Kevin Byard. That's experience, but Jamel Dean had an amazing season recently. So this past season. So I'd probably say Jamel Dean or Cam Curl overpay Jets. Send it to the moon. Then I'll come with, and that's a corner. And then so we move over to Alontae Taylor, familiarity, for sure, with Glenn. Eric Stokes had a sneaky good season with the Raiders.
Yep.
He could be very cheap. Amik Robertson, we already know, will be cheap. coming from Detroit. Then, so these are if, ands, or do you select one or two of them? Because they're all like, this is if we bucket being pretty cheap for the most part. Then Muhammad for edge, he had a great season with Detroit. Kuntz is another one. He had a pretty good season.
What'd you call me?
Malcolm Kuntz.
Oh, sorry. I thought
edge.
You called me something.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Boye Mafe as well. So if you could grab Muhammad no matter what, and then pick one of these two, that would be nice. Then I move over to running back position. Keaton Mitchell.
Okay.
I doubt that happens because they're probably going to stick in whatever contract we throw at him.
I see Kamani Vidal is in there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, please, get us a little scat back. I mean, the Jets were great with scat backs in the 2000s. We always had a little guy running around and catching some
Leon
passes.
Washington. I got you.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Make it happen.
And I love all your notes here. Look at this. I see the proper pronunciation of a new old-faced new name.
Mario Ta. You know what I mean? It's a ta. You got to throw that ta in there.
Apparently.
The Hawaiian, you know what I mean? Samoan. Stop playing around with this guy's last name. Mario Ta to couple with Brissett. And then Wentz. That's a crying face. Okay, guys. I'm sorry. It could happen. Just imagine this could happen. There are tears. We are sad about this. Yeah. And of course, as Mr. Lederer brought up here, Linderbaum. I mean, that's got to be the first priority. Fort Knox truck back.
Well, I'll tell you. I've read the Giants want him. The Bears want him because the Bears lost their starting center this week. 27-year-old guy.
Dolman. Yeah. By the way, you're getting praised, and rightfully so. Appreciate the due diligence, admire the diligence, and everything else that's happening here. I mean, that is well thought out, well detailed, and again, the dissertation was incredible and a great hat. I love the script, the lettering on the hat. Very nice.
When is our final exam? Because I got a lot of studying.
Yeah, a lot of notes. I got.
You know what? I'm working on a spreadsheet right now. With some of these picks to see. I can tell you, I already filled in 3 spots, and we've only spent like $12 million. So
look at you.
I'm trying to budget. I'm trying to budget these Jets, and see
out of all those guys, I don't understand. Out of all those guys, you think 3 guys they can easily sign? What are you talking?
Oh yeah, I mean, Jacoby Brissett. We're taking in that contract, which is I think $9 million because they fronted a signing bonus to him, but I think it's like something between $6 and $9 million is what he's getting.
We have to give up, from what I hear, a 5th or a 6th, or maybe both for him.
Yep.
Hey, I mean, it's better than what we just saw.
Yeah, $9 million is for a starting quarterback. It's not bad at all.
Yeah. So I have to worry about post-June cuts and still dealing with stuff like that.
Your emphasis is an edge and a linebacker on defense.
Oh, for draft?
No, in free agency.
Oh, free agency. Yeah, I'm gonna say linebacker because it's bad. You know what I mean? Whether we're leaking out to the safeties or we're not closing in and stopping runs sideline to sideline, and then safety. Yeah, I mean it's got to be something that we got to concern ourselves about. We couldn't intercept anything. We're beat over the top. So I feel like those two matter. And then the edge situation. You're not, if you're going to draft Reese, then you're allowing yourself to go cheap at edge, right? You don't have to swing at the biggest guy, the biggest contract that's available. So, and I didn't even add wide receivers at free agency. I mean, Romeo Dobbs would probably be a good one, but
so much to do. But Philly, I salute you, sir. And again,
so before you go, and I pose the same question to BG. What do you make of the stories this week about Muji kind of separating himself from Green? From AG, as far as
not the sidekick anymore.
Situation in the hierarchy.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. That's what's happened, right? I mean, we can see it. If the reporters, the beat reporters, can see this, that means they're getting their ear to the ground, hearing. He's laying his own path. I mean, to me though, the success rate is higher if you're bringing in Frank Reich, someone that and you bring in a veteran quarterback. I mean, you should be able to pull out 5 or 6 games. I mean, and you got to turn around the defense. If he can't turn around the defense and they go from last to 27th, yeah, I think you got to move forward. You know what I mean? You can keep Muji if he really does do well this offseason.
But AG is the one who told the Jets who to hire as the general manager.
So you're saying he has, well, if just because you have a good eye for personnel, like he was supposed to be the CEO type, and then you can't coach properly, that it just means that, yeah, you're not suited for coaching. He can go do something else at that point.
Yep. Okay.
Put him in the front office.
Well, again, Philly.
Alrighty. Later.
Nicely done. Good back to work.
There he goes. Philly Noodles. Wow. And he brought the marker board. You wanted that more, Bob. Yeah, he's giving it to you. All right. Let's keep going down the phone line trend before we wrap up the show. Again, we go to he may be third letter of the alphabet, but number one in my heart. Let's go to C here on the program. What's up, pal?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Hey, Carl, did you know that Jake is looking for you?
No, I didn't.
You are part of their, I forget what they call it. Jake, BG, you probably do the contest he's running now.
Oh, as Maniac Madness?
I am?
You are on the board, and they've been looking for you. And Jake says yesterday, but Carl, where are you? You haven't called in a long time.
No, I haven't. Boy, they must really be desperate.
I'm just doing this as a public service.
Okay, maybe I'll stop in and see Jake today. Anyway, listen, I do not want Frank Reich. I do not want Derek Carr for a quarterback because that shoulder is not, that shoulder you just don't know. I have a shoulder, and I actually have two shoulders, but my one shoulder is really bad. And sometimes and I've never had surgery on it, but sometimes it'll feel really good. And then sometimes it'll just be, you just can't lift it. So for a guy that has not had surgery or had it repaired or anything like that, I don't think that you could trust it for a full season. I just don't think that's going to happen. I do like Jacoby Brissett a lot. I think Jacoby Brissett, for what we'd have to give up and what we'd have to pay him, is probably, I think it's the best option. Better than Kyler Murray. I think it's better than, forget about Tua. I don't think we want Tua. And as far as the other pieces, safety, linebacker, I got to tell you, there's a lot of guys we could name out there, and I got to trust Moogie on that because I think they're going to bring in the right people. I really do. I think they're going to bring in the right people. I just have this feeling with Moogie. The guy just seems like he knows what he's doing, and he's not, taking flyers or he's not taking guesses out there. The guy seems like he does his homework, he knows what he wants, and he's going to go get him. So I'm not too worried about that. And as far as yesterday, when I called in about I wasn't really meaning to give medical advice. What I meant
the help tips.
Yeah. Well, what I say was, hey, look, there's people that smoke and drink and live to be 110.
Right. It's vice versa, right? People that never smoke get lung cancer. No, 100%.
Right. Yeah. But what I was trying to say was that we all have things that are genetic in our family.
Right.
And you can't run away from those, but you can help yourself in certain ways. Mm-hmm. So, I think, a lot of people were calling me Dr. Carl, and my dad eats meat and my grandfather eats meat and he's 90. That's fine. I wish I could eat meat and smoke and live to be 100, but that's not going to happen, I
think you gave Nick Ferrier very good advice yesterday.
Yeah.
I thought the advice was sound. I don't know.
Yeah, that's all I was trying to say. I wasn't trying to tell people what to do. I was just trying to give a little advice that maybe I live by,
Well, here's the thing, Carl, the two things here. You're in shape and I am a shape. It's a circle. I'm fat. So when I see you flexing over here, I'm like, man, whatever he's doing, yeah, I'll have that. I go to a restaurant. Oh, what dish does he have? Yeah, I'll have what he's having. Yeah, I want to have. I want to be looking like. I want to be looking like you on the beach. Okay.
Well,
I'll
tell you, Boy Green, and
yeah.
I do this out of necessity because I've had several back surgeries.
Yeah.
I have a really bad back, and it caused me to start. I've been through all the physical therapy. I've been through the shots in my back, and I've been through all kinds of stuff, and I don't want to have any more surgery. So I started, swimming. Swimming's my big thing.
Oh, cool.
Losing a little bit of weight takes the pressure off your back. So I kind of do it out of necessity, because if I didn't do that, I think, I used to walk around on a walker.
Oh, Jesus.
And I used to have a cane, and that's when I was in my 30s.
Wow.
So I had to make a decision to get myself in the best shape I can in order to, have some kind of mobility and have some kind of a productive life.
Well, congratulations. You've certainly been able to do that. So whether it was because you had to or because you chose to,
right.
Major credit to you. See?
Well, thank you. But, anybody can, look, I feel like your health and your body is your own responsibility, and however you choose to deal with that is up to you. No one should tell you, hey, you're fat, you're thin, you're good, you're not. It's up to you. Live your life, Everybody's got to live their own life. The only downside I have, the only thing I think that really is the worst thing in my life was being a Jet fan my whole life. That kind of.
The doctor told you how to cure that, or is there?
No, but my mental health has suffered for that. I do have to say that.
I can imagine. Yeah.
You've plowed through, Carl. You've plowed through.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I can make it another 20 years.
Yeah, I give Nick Ferrier a lot of credit, because he got a wake up notice.
He did, and it is.
Unfortunately, through his dad.
Right.
Hey, I lost my dad. My dad was 57. My grandfather was 62. It gets scary. It gets a little scary after a while.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with having a salad with a steak. That's my point of view.
You definitely need sides with a steak. You definitely need sides.
Bob, talking about bringing in some veterans.
Yeah.
I think that the Jets, if they brought me and you in, you could be the kicker and I can be the linebacker. What do you think?
I cannot be the kicker.
And we'll straighten that locker room out real quick.
There you go. That's what we need.
Anyway, guys, have a good weekend.
You do the same, Carl.
Appreciate it. Yeah, and here's the thing. I heard people making the Dr. Carr.
Tell us about salads and sides again.
Yeah, I know we get into everything on the show. I'll just say that for the Dr. Carr. First off, I'm cool with ripping. If everyone loves to give people crap, that's all fine. But in all seriousness, I wouldn't have taken it seriously. Hey, my grandpa lived till he was 150. He'd red meat. Good for you. God bless America. Look at the shape that Carl's in. If he shares any advice, I'm listening. It sounds interesting.
My wife makes it a point to not allow me to have meat more than a couple of times a week.
Yeah, but I would just say this, we can all. In my life, I have a filter. Okay, I listen to everyone. I listen to Bob. I listen to my dad. I listen to everyone in my life. But there's a filter. They don't just say, "Hey, Paul, you should jump off a bridge." Oh, sounds like a great idea. Woohoo! And I jump off a bridge. I filter the information. Hey, you should jump off a bridge. I filter it. Yeah, no, I don't think I'm going to do that. Then sometimes people say, "Hey, you should invest your money in this," and I'm like, "All right, yeah, that's what the
question should be. How high is that bridge?"
Yeah, that's probably a good follow-up question. But that's how everyone in our audience. We currently have 500 people watching the show right now, which is amazing, and we have thousands of subscribers. Everything else, it's a beautiful thing. Filter everything you hear. You like the beat Nick Ferrier joined us yesterday. You like what he says? Great. You don't like what he says? Also great. Develop your own opinions. Hopefully, we're providing a lot of information, and you're filtering what you want to hear and filtering out what you don't. We'll address rumors. We'll address signings. We'll address this. Everyone can all coexist in this universe. It's a beautiful thing. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Whoa, it must be because it says Maniac Madness season that we are getting all kinds of big name people gracing the presence of the show. Up next, Muji Three Legs, aka Bonesy, is here. Whoa, mama!
Oh my
What's
God,
up, bud?
Bonesy! Hello, Bonesy. I've never met you before.
Whoa!
You got recommended any shoes for me today? Now, are you deliberately doing the Mickey Mouse voice, or is that? I think Jake is deliberately playing with Bonesy so that he can't talk to us. He wants Bonesy for himself.
Wait, yeah.
Do you have any idea what you sound like?
Yeah, you sound like Mickey Mouse, but let me hear it. Go ahead, and let me turn over the Oh, he's gone. Wow. Okay, I heard. All right.
Call back, Bonesy.
Wow, that was all right. Anywho, let's go back to the super chats real quick. Mad Merch here. Then we'll get back to the phone lines here on the program. We have a super chat coming through on the program.
Wow.
65 years of Jets Titans bliss. What could be better? Yes, the New York Jets were originally the New York Titans from 1960 to 1962. They became the Jets in 1963, and we're here all the way in 2026. So, Mad Birds, thanks for your support again. I'm not. It is crazy to me. Again, I pinch myself every day that we have this kind of audience. That people we commiserate together, we celebrate together, we complain together, we vent together. There's just there is a beautiful kinship that does exist here. So thank you, Mad Merch, for that. So that was one of the weirdest things in my life. All right, let's try take two. Bonesy's called back in. Bonesy.
Hello.
Whoa! Oh, wow.
My goodness.
Okay, that was crazy.
All
Okay,
right,
that's
there we
different.
go,
Okay.
there we
Yeah,
go.
we got you.
I'm glad you fixed your voice.
Yeah.
I'm in the car at my daughter's library. I had to take off today because my wife's working, and so I got a nice hour and a half to kill.
Oh, nice.
Normally when I'm on the train, like I get on at like 7:45.
Yeah,
You're
right on
going.
time.
I'm
I see.
sleeping in 10 minutes. I never catch your show like live. But,
Yeah. So this is awesome. Great to have you.
Definitely, man. I'm just
good to meet you.
Go ahead, Bob.
No, I said it's good to meet you.
You too, man. I see you guys all the time, especially on the replays, Bob. I see you, but this is football season for me. When we start getting closer to free agency, the last couple of months, I can't do too much draft talk until we hit free agency and know who we want and who we're targeting in the draft. Compared to what we did in free agency, but I really called in because my fellow Paisan Neil called in and gave a quarterback room that literally made me kind of almost like, he said Kyler Murray, Anthony Richardson, and Josh Dobbs. I mean, when is the last, dual threat quarterback to win a Super Bowl? Or, besides Jalen Hurts, who kind of got carried by Saquon.
Yeah.
So I just
the last dual threat to win a Super Bowl. So obviously you did mention Jalen, but let me try to think of recent.
And Jalen, you guys agree that Saquon had a lot to do. I mean, he played great in the Super Bowl, Jalen, but Saquon, that was
I would say on Saquon, I think, for the season, the Eagles don't win the Super Bowl without his regular season. Now, I know Saquon didn't perform great in the Super Bowl, but still, he was there throughout. So I'm seeing, Sam Darnold definitely not fleet of foot.
Yeah, the running game in the last Super Bowl was just
Tom
dynamic.
Brady, Patrick Mahomes again, Tom Brady again, Nick Foles now, Tom Brady again. Peyton Manning's old ass definitely wasn't. No, Tom Brady again. Jesus, Tom Brady, can you move over for God's sake?
With all respect, with all respect to Neil, Anthony Richardson, seriously?
I mean, so you have a rocket scientist in Joshua Dobbs. You have Anthony Richardson who tapped his helmet to quit, and they have Kyler Murray, who we all know everything about Kyler Murray. Wow, that is.
And Anthony Richardson is exactly the reason why you don't want to take the kid from Alabama. He just didn't have enough experience as a collegian.
Bonesy, that is a crazy point, though. I'm like looking at every Super Bowl winner like over the last like 20 years or something, and you go to Joe Flacco's, Eli Manning's, and all these guys, you're like, holy crap. I guess Russell Wilson, back in like 12 years ago, I guess. Like, man, that's crazy. I hadn't thought about that.
The mental, part of the game and a thrower of the football is probably the most important thing when you're playing the quarterback position. Right, and if we learned anything from last year, when everybody was, we should move off Rodgers because we go with the young potential. One thing we all have to agree on is the Jets really in the quarterback room, we don't do potential. We don't do upside. We need a veteran. We need to strike magic with Fitzmagic type, like a veteran who can come in. We can get lucky with pairing it with an offensive coordinator who wants a specific type. I really think Frank Reich was a great hire in terms of he kind of knows what he is and what he wants to do and what he wants to run his scheme. And familiarity is my first choice. Like if it was up to me, Brissett, if we can get Malik Willis to sign with the Cardinals or Jimmy G, whatever they want to do, let Brissett be available for a day 3 pick.
Yeah.
I would love Brissett. I'm big on Derek Carr as well. I know no one wants to talk about health, but the guy is consistent. He throws for 25 to 30 touchdowns a year. He's in the 37 to 4,000 yards a year kind of guy. He's a clutch player in the fourth quarter with comebacks. If you look it up, since he entered the league, it's like in, I think, 2015 or 16, whenever he came in, he's got like the most career comebacks in the fourth quarter wins. I think it's like 28.
Really?
If I'm not mistaken.
Interesting. Wow.
He has something that we can like kind of Musgraves on the team. So we have some a connection there. I'm not against Derek Carr, but Kyler Murray, listen, he's an electric player.
Sure.
But he plays out of the pocket. He plays off script. He's not going to go through his progressions. He's not going to stand in the pocket. He's not that type of quarterback. And if he's dinged up, he can't function. And even if he tries to play, he's not the same player. In the last 4 years, Kyler Murray, he played 11 games, 8 games, then 17 games 2 years ago, and then last year 5 games.
Right.
I don't want to do that again, man. I don't want a guy who can, tweak his knee and then he can't play. I want a guy who, like Phillip Rivers style, he could play on a torn ACL and still throw touchdowns.
Yeah. 100%, right.
So I'm just actually excited. I can't wait for free agency. I can't wait to see the direction we go. Got money to spend, and
let's go.
I hate when people say, oh, well, let's get this, Kyler Murray on the minimum, 1.3 million. Who gives it? We have so much cap space, right? We're not spending it all. Who cares if we pay a guy
I think there's something, Bonesy, I think there's something to be said for not having to expend a lot of money on a quarterback, but it's got to be the right kind of quarterback.
But I think I understand what Bungie is saying, that shouldn't be the leading reason why you pick. Like Kyler, big reason why people want him is 1.3 million. That's true. But the Jets have the resources to get any guy they want as long as they want them. It takes 2 to tango. So I hear what you're saying, Bungie.
And also like I understand like you want to, get bang for your buck and the best bargain you can.
Yeah.
But if it's like a 1-year prove it deal, we're not spending you guys don't think we'll spend all of our free agency money. I don't think the Jets are going to go bonkers, and maybe they do. Maybe I'm wrong and they go Patriot style and Glenn wants to win and he rebuilds the entire defense through free. Like, who knows? Maybe I'm wrong and we're going to need to squeeze out every piece of cap that we need. But I wouldn't mind paying a guy $15 million for 1 year if he was the right guy. If it's just a 1 year, it's Woody's money. And if we have caps, unless we go bonkers, we'll have cap space left. So I can't get Kyler out. I can't do that. The guys, did you guys ever see Kyler Murray's kill death ratio on Black Ops 7? It is he's that dog on Call of Duty. He is that dog.
Say that again. His what?
His kill death ratio. His
yeah,
KD.
yeah. Come on, Bob. Aren't you? You know.
That's video game talk, Bob.
Yeah, come on, Bob.
It's video game for the kids that are grinding on Call of Duty.
That's right. There you go. You got to work that in, Bob. Come on, do more research. You got to do some more tape study.
Oh my
right,
God,
Bob?
what has become of our country?
So
this society, when they talk about a woke society, what has become of us? Okay.
Yeah, right.
Do we want Kyler Murray coming into our young locker room and showing us the way, like being the vet in the room? Like, yeah, man, this is how you do it. Like,
I'm not sure that would be my first choice for that particular trait that you were discussing. No, I don't believe so. No.
Give me Brissett,
a great leader. He is not renowned to be. No.
But what will be fascinating, right? So, I've heard Jake talk about this on the show, right? So, is Kyler the best quarterback that's available? I could listen to someone make a case of why he's the most talented, best quarterback of if you said who's the best of all these guys, I could hear a case for that guy. Sure, I could. But if AG and he values leadership and all these things, and he brings in a Kyler Murray, it just shows either how desperate he is or that he was sold. Again, AG and Kyler's father have a good relationship, so unless he heard something there that we don't know and they have the information, it does seem surprising if the Jets went in that direction and potentially if Kyler chose us over the Vikings. They have Justin Jefferson, they have KOC, they play in a dome. Like I mentioned, if I was Kyler, I'd be very attracted by that. So I can understand. So I am curious to see what the Jets do, because you're right, Bonesy. In the next 10 days, the Jets are going to be signing actual people. It's not months of speculation anymore. It's boom, they have this guy. Boom, they have this guy.
The question that BG asked me before, do you think by next Friday that the Jets will have settled on a quarterback?
Do you think, we'll have our quarterback in a week?
I pray that we do. Because,
So it's just over. I understand. Yeah.
If we don't, doesn't that feel like some free agent players might be like, you're either giving me that super jet tax or I ain't even talking to you guys.
I mean, once free agency starts for good at 4:00 next Wednesday, you got to be prepared to strike.
And the biggest strike we need is Malik Willis to the Cardinals, man.
Yeah.
That's what we're waiting for. If that happens, that Brissett's expendable, and he plays with Frank Reich before. He knows the system. He's a solid quarterback. We can target him immediately, because besides that, the only other guy that I would really entertain in that I like is Mac Jones. I know everybody doesn't want to hear that. He's been touched by an angel, guys.
You can't get him. You can't get him.
Yeah.
But hey, fellas, man, it was good kicking it with you guys.
Thank you for devoting that 90 minutes that you had free to us.
Yeah, there you go. You're the best, Bonesy.
I'm in the zone. I'm
100%.
Right now.
Hey, good luck in Asmaniac Madness, brother.
Come back every Friday.
For Asmaniac Madness, I just want to see Gary, man, go against everybody.
Well, there you go.
The entertainment value. I'm not
right.
in it to win it this year. I'm in it for the entertainment.
I love
Last year's tournament was the real deal. It was 3+ years of the community battling and showing their fandom, and that was the real battle. The rest is now just for the past year. That's for entertainment value in my heart.
I love it. Well, you're the best, Bonesy. Thanks, brother.
All right, fellas.
Good weekend.
Awesome. Bonesy joining us here on the program. Again, we have 500 people in the room. All right, we're about to wrap up the show. We'll take another caller here, and then we'll put a bow on this puppy. Super fun show. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in so far. Up next is Bill Ambley, baby. What's up, Bill?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Oh, man.
Bill, how are you? Hey, Bill, who do you like? Who do you like in the World Baseball Classic?
I don't know. Unfortunately, I really don't follow that. I mean, for me, it's just a regular MLB, and that's it. I'm not such a big fanatic about the
Are you impressed that the
WBC.
Mets beat Nicaragua and Israel on 2 consecutive days?
I mean, that was nice for sure. With all this quarterback stuff that we're getting, it's like I just rather wait until they actually get the quarterback, and then we can talk about it afterwards. Because right now my thought is, I wonder what Phillip Rivers is doing these days. We can have him and Cousins and Carr and a Rusty
Don't
Pipe
forget Drew
come
Brees.
in and compete, and then my money's on the Rusty Pipe winning. It's nuts, all this talk. Definitely, I'm hopeful that we can get a couple of real solid athletes in the draft. Whether it's Reese Styles, I really like both players. I'm not sure if we're in a position where we can move up from 16 in order to try and get both guys at the same time. And meanwhile, then take our pick number 33 and move back with that to recoup some of those picks. But would be nice to have both those guys on our defense, creating some havoc and so on. Something that our last defense wasn't doing much of.
BG, how big is Styles?
6'5", I believe, 244 pounds. I'll double check. I have the measurables in front of me here. Let me see on Styles, but I'm pretty sure I remember him at 6'5", 244 pounds.
So he'll probably put on some more weight.
Yes, I nailed it. So of course it did. Pat yourself in the back, Paul. Way to go! Yeah, 6'5", 244 pounds, 21 years of age. Yep.
I just don't think. I mean, everything I'm hearing, he's not getting past the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I heard too. Yeah, that's what Trevor has said. That's what I've continued to hear. So that's unfortunate because, like, if oh my God, we've had so many callers on the show. I'm like forgetting who the hell said this, but like someone mentioned way earlier the Trevor thing that I asked Trevor Sikkema, like, okay, you take whoever you want it to, because like it may be difficult to trade back. But Arvell Reese, it doesn't matter who you pick. Let's just say Arvell Reese, and then you're at 16, and you say to yourself, "Whoa, Caleb Downs is slipping. Sonny Styles is slipping." Again, maybe it's unlikely that Sonny Styles slips, but whoever that other guy is that you think you're the Jets, like, holy crap, this guy's an elite superstar, but there's zero chance in hell that he's getting to 16. Do we just say, you know what? We have the picks. Let's just go get a guy we think is a sure thing, and let's move up. And then you walk away from the first round with Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles, or Arvell Reese and Caleb Downs, and you just feel really good. Or do you just stick and pick and take your four guys? I think there's a compelling case to be made to be aggressive.
Right. Yeah. I mean, either way, it wouldn't be bad because if you stick and pick, you're still going to get hopefully four solid players that will all turn out to be starters. But at the same time, obviously, a lot of us would love to see a scenario where we get two of the top guys and Styles and Reese and call it a day and say, oh yeah, we did it. So anywho, I wish everyone a wonderful weekend.
Same back to you.
Yep. Go
Thanks,
Jets.
Bill. Let's go. You're the best, baby. Bill Aimley joining us here on the program. Well, fun show, everybody. Thank you so much to everyone. Again, I love these Bob shows. We get so much interaction. It's always a grand time. And again, I don't know if the next time we talk to Bob, whether we will have a quarterback signing or not, but I'll tell you, we will have at least one signing, and I imagine a flurry, because legal tampering period is on Monday at noon. The league year kicks off on Wednesday at 4 o'clock. We're going to have, I would venture to guess, trades, signings. I mean, there's going to be a lot of splash, and I'm very much looking forward to going over that with Bob, the moves that happen and moves still to happen. Free agency doesn't end next Friday or a few days after. There's first wave, second wave, third wave.
The quarterback signing will break during next Friday's morning.
Oh, my goodness. I don't think we've had many, like, direct Jets crazy breaking things happen during a show before, so that would be magical. And we're in the window of it, Bob, that, like, you know, once free agency starts and we're 2 or 3 days in, trades or anything could happen at a moment's notice. So I'm looking forward to that historic moment. We've had some fun ones on the show in the history. That would be awesome. So Bob, terrific. And again, folks out in the audience, if you could do me a real big solid here, I'd appreciate it. Again, we have 400 plus people in the room, including 100 of those 400 on YouTube. On the way out, hit that like button. It's free to do. Make it a part of your routine. Every time you watch a show, like the video. That's how this Jet show gets in front of other Jet fans. It's an algorithm thing for YouTube. A lot of likes is like, well, Jet fans must really like this. You know what? Here are other Jet fans of yours. Here's this thing called Boy Green Daily. That's how this Jet show gets in front of other Jet fans out there in the audience. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We just surpassed over 8,420 live on the show, which was awesome. So appreciate that. And if you haven't checked it out yet, again, that Trevor Sikkema interview is now up. That is PFF's lead NFL draft analyst. You should probably already know who the hell that is, but just in case you don't, he is one of the best in the business. I love when he's able to join us here on the program and share his insights on a variety of subject matters. So, guys, you can feel free to check out the full interview. Here is the YouTube thumbnail for that interview so you can see it in our video section. That is Trevor Sikkema. And we had about 30 minutes of draft conversation, combine coverage, and things he was hearing. So, guys, check that out. That is in our video section. Check out the full interview with Trevor Sikkema. Bob, thank you as always.
Thank you. And, yeah, I enjoyed that with Trevor as well because he really came up with a lot of different stuff that we haven't heard before.
Which is exactly what I wanted him to do. So Trevor is the best. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back on tomorrow morning for another episode of Boy Green Daily.
Everybody.
Yep. Take care.